welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
It's a Friday. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Hard iced tea, real brew tea, big taste, bold refreshment. Don't just give a hoot, give two. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, as well as those watching us on YouTube on what's supposed to be a beautiful Friday, a beautiful weekend. It is the Canada Day long weekend. Joining us today, friend of EST from the Pipeline Show, who is in season 19, the big one coming up in just a couple months.
Yeah.
But still season 19. It is Guy Flaming. Guy, how are you today?
Doing terrific. That's a great tagline. Don't give a hoot, give two.
I know, isn't it?
That's awesome.
I was so excited, and that's theirs. I did not come up with that. I'm just going to throw that out there. The first time I read that one, I can't remember who was in here. I think Belsey might have been in here. I don't think it was Tommy here that day. And it just immediately, just the laugh.
Yeah.
Because no one was expecting that. But yeah, give two hoots. It's delicious. I don't know if you've had it.
I haven't yet.
Want some?
If you would like some later, more than welcome to pass it along.
I will give it a shot.
All right.
Or two.
Guy, let's fire it up. It's the long weekend.
All right.
What's going on with my microphone stand? Hello.
I've seen we've had some issues with that lately.
Get engineering in here. That's you.
Hey, look at that. I'll get into that. $100,000 hole-in-one qualifying opportunity coming up today. It is the final. Today we qualified the 24th contestant. We're qualifying the 25th contestant, the last one now. Today, Hello Hockey, tomorrow VIP Golf Show on Sunday. Tuesday, we will announce who that 25th contestant is. So we'll qualify for that last spot, as well as the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival qualifying opportunity for that. We also have actually 4-pack of tickets to the Edmonton Stingers on Canada Day as well.
Let's go.
We'll give that away on the Hangout. So lots to get to. We'll recap the Edmonton Elks game. Jay Milne is supposed to be here at some point. This is expected that he's not here. He's just coming a little bit late because he did have a meeting. But we got to talk about some Elks. But also today, draft day in the National Hockey League. How big is today for you? Is it everything's built? You've done all your stuff and now it's just... It is what it is.
I've always loved the draft. It's more about how it all unfolds and sort of the drama around it, and if there's trades, which seems like we always expect there's going to be big trades, and then more often than not, there's nothing that happens. Although it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been spicy. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, outside of that, almost every episode of my show, I'm talking to a player, maybe a couple of players who are draft eligible. So I do kind of prepare for the draft all year long.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that regard, yes, I do look forward to the draft for sure.
Well, we're not doing a draft show here on EST. The Oilers don't pick in the first round.
64th overall.
There's a lot, but
and then not again until the 5th.
Yeah. 5th, 2 6th, 2 7th.
That's tough.
But that's the price you pay sometimes to get to Stanley Cup final, right?
That's true.
Part of that. I remember just doing some of the draft shows back at 1260, and it'd be like, I would print off those draft sheets, and you'd have the top 30 prospects or something, and then there'd be this name that comes off the board, and you're like, who is this? Well, who knows who it is? It's Guy Flaming.
Yeah.
Guy always had, there wasn't a player that didn't get picked that Guy didn't know something about them and stuff. It's just the prep that you go through all year. It is wonderful, and on the Pipeline Show, it's the draft spotlight that you do every single episode. So there isn't many people that are better than Guy Flaming, if there is anyone better.
I'm interested in day 2 of the draft, as most people are for day 1. So I do like seeing how it all plays out with the second, third, and the late round guys as well, and just see who gets picked from what leagues and things like that. So,
I would say second, in hockey, 3+, it's a little hard to find those impact players. Mm-hmm. That second round, if you could hit it in the second round, you're expecting the first. Mm-hmm. If you could hit it in the second, you're laughing, I think, if you're an organization in the National Hockey League.
Well, I think every year you need at least one, and hopefully if you get 2 NHL players out of a draft, I think you've had a successful draft. It's really hit and miss in a lot of times.
Speaking of that, the Dallas Stars have kind of created the new template, basically, to retool on the fly. Their drafting has been immaculate, has it not?
Well, you go back to the year when they took Stankoven and now I'm forgetting all the names. That wasn't the year they took Heiskanen. That was in 2017.
Yes, Heiskanen was 17, right?
But it kind of started around there for Dallas, and they've been one of the better teams.
Robertson was in there.
That's the year with Stankoven.
34th. Right. Delandria, who they just traded, Wyatt Johnston.
He was a good pick.
Like that's how you do it with success and having like your core guys in their prime. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Oilers, right? Like that's what they're gonna have to try to do, because, like Matthew said, their asset management on the draft side is depleted.
That, and I think they've also made some questionable decisions. I mean, the year that they should have took Jesper Wallstedt and they traded back and then took the little French kid whose name is who really has not taken a big step forward. No. I mean, error. I call it an error. Mistakes like that really come back to haunt you, and it looks like Wallstedt's going to be an NHL goaltender, and that's exactly what the Oilers need, isn't it? So. I mean, they're kind of a little short in some of their positions for the Oilers in the pipeline.
How about this Askarov thing? I'm sorry to derail.
No, okay, go. I'm going. Like, we can stick on this. I do want to ask about the Sphere after, but
well, yeah, you've been there, so we'll talk. But
yeah,
okay. So speaking of goalies, and then there was aspirations at the Oilers back then. You know, hopefully Askarov fell to them. I think he went right before they were about to pick to Nashville, and if I recall that correctly.
Okay.
Anyway, he wasn't there when they were on the board, right?
Was that the Wallstedt year or no?
I think that was a
Kosa
year.
and Wallstedt.
Yeah,
and
I know they liked Kosa.
Yeah, that's what they wanted.
Yeah. So Askarov was supposed to be the goalie of the future for the Nashville Predators, but last night you see Friedman and the boys, Bagnotta, all saying that it sounds like Saros is going to be re-upping for 8 with Nashville, and I mean he's been an excellent goaltender for them. Took over seamlessly for Pekka Rinne. So what do you do with a guy like Askarov, who you've groomed and drafted and developed and put all this money, time, and effort into? I guess you turn him into an asset and try to flip him. Like, how do you look at something like that?
Don't you need 2 goalies nowadays? Like most of the good teams are going with a tandem system, aren't they? Think of Boston.
They want him back in Milwaukee, apparently.
Yeah. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I know. That's why. It's like, whoa, head scratcher.
It seems like you should be able to. I don't know where he's at with his contract, but I mean, he's not an NHL player, so his next contract probably not going to be one that breaks the bank.
True. Good point.
So why couldn't he be your number 2 guy on a cheaper deal?
Great question. I wonder that too, but unless they think he's ready to push for a starter's role, and I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that. You know, there's all this talk about Saros being traded, and they have Askarov coming up. And then
he's got one more year in his entry level up in 25-26 as an RFA.
Yeah. So and then their intention is to keep him down in Milwaukee, even though he's over-ripened, let's call it.
But what an asset to have then.
That is a great asset.
But if he's only got one more year left.
But it being an RFA after.
Yes. But what's going to be more enticing for him? A minor hockey, or not a minor hockey, but a amateur pro hockey deal and another American Hockey League deal, or going back home to Russia.
Yeah, that's
if I'm Nashville, I probably do consider trading him.
Well, but that's what an asset to have for I think the deadline next year.
Right.
I think that's what you'd be looking at if you're Nashville, or is okay when the deadline comes. Right. And this is a team that actually looked really good in the playoffs this year. That they made it in, and they pushed Vancouver pretty well. Mm-hmm. Now Vancouver did lose their goaltending in that too, but some people thought that was going to be a really easy sweep. But there they are now. Okay, if you're, I guess it's Barry Trotz now. I want to say David Poyle. Barry Trotz, you want to take that next step as a franchise. You go through this season, and then you get the deadline. You go, we need to get player this or this.
Yeah, that's a good bargain.
What an asset to have. How many teams have that top chip goaltending prospect that you're willing to part with?
Yeah.
That's what maybe you're holding on to, that is that it's just let him play in the American Hockey League, let him keep playing and developing, and then boom, when you need to go make that play, that trade, you've got an asset you're more than willing to move on from because you got Saros.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like the Philly or something like that, team that's suddenly in goaltender issues.
Yeah. Whatever team is looking for a goalie at that time, and
that makes sense.
I'm not going to project that far ahead, but you just never know. What team is going to be looking, and everyone wants a goalie. There's something about the Preds developing goalies.
Yeah. Well,
they've always, Vancouver always seems to have goalies. They find a way to get the goalies too, but Nashville's the other one to me that always just has a goalie in net, and then you think, who's going to be next? And there's the next goalie.
And they had Connor Ingram, did they not?
They did for a while.
Yeah.
But Pekka Rinne was a late round draft pick too. We were just talking about these late round picks that real hit and miss, hardly ever pan out. There's a good example of a guy.
And who was before Pecorini? Why am I forgetting his name?
Mike Dunham?
No. There was a top goalie before him.
Oh, the guy
Thomas Vokoun?
Was it Vokoun?
They had Vokoun
They
for
did
a
at
bit,
one time have Vokoun.
He was really
their,
strong.
broadcaster with the big beard.
He's from Edmonton. What the hell's his name?
That guy, Mason.
Yeah, Steve, or not Steve Mason's.
Chris Mason.
Chris Mason, yes.
Yeah, Thomas Vokoun. He was a really good goalie for a long time too for them, right?
Yeah.
Like they just get it done, and it's impressive to me. I don't know. That's you got like the Oilers and Philly who just fully can't always get it done. Although it looks like maybe here in Edmonton it's going on the right path. Obviously we all know who's going number one.
Yeah.
Now no surprises there. What do you think there's going to be any real surprises in those top few picks after that?
This is what I like about this year's draft in particular. Most years we say it kind of opens up and there could be 3 or 4 guys who go in some order in that 2 to 5 spot. This year it seems to be from about 2 to 13, 14, where there'll be guys who are taken in the top 5 who might not be in the top 10 for a lot of people in their rankings. It seems to be pretty interchangeable. There's probably 2 or 3 guys who will go in that 2 to 5 spot, but there will be some surprises, I think, in the first in the first 15 picks, where a lot of people will be saying, like Berkeley Catton, for example, of the Spokane Chiefs, really good player, 116 points this year. I think for the most part this year, a lot of people, a lot of lists have had him 6, 7. He might be still there at 15. It's just one of those years, and it would be really. That's the compelling thing about the draft this year for me, is just to see how it all plays out, because it seems to be so much up in the air.
Before you jump in, this is the Hangout Headlines, brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier condition, top-notch service, unparalleled value. Book your tee time today, especially this weekend at theranchgolf.com. It's the place you want to golf this golf season. Great conditions all year.
I love how you knew I was about to jump in. That's
a good
teammate right there, yeah.
We got that chemistry.
Yes.
We got that. We're no Nurse and Cece on the ice.
Wow. Yes. We're Echo Bouchard.
Yeah.
Okay. Before Maddie made the perfect read and then jumped in with the liner. For Calgary, how vital is this draft, in your opinion?
Well, I think they have the opportunity to hit a home run here with a pick. What are they, 9th picking? And
yes.
What will be interesting is if they take TJ Ginla, because he's right there in that spot. It won't be a sense of just nepotism to have him being taken by the Calgary Flames. But I remember when Keegan Lowe was playing for the, he was like. Didn't want to be drafted.
He told
by the
Kevin
Oilers.
straight up,
That's
"Do
right.
not take me."
So I don't know if there's, I don't know if there's some situation like that for TJ Ginla and the Flames, but it would be a perfect fit, wouldn't it?
Well, it's for the Flames as an organization to go to your fan base and say, "We've got a Ginla." What a great selling point! What a great hope for the fan base who are just watching their team get decimated over these last few years.
Instant pressure.
But then the flip side, there's all this pressure that you've just thrown on this kid because of the name. More specifically, that he is Jerome's kid. And is that, look who finally showed up. That was really quick. Jay, this is Guy. Guy, this is Jay.
Nice to meet you.
I don't know that I've ever met you in person, but
You guys have not.
nice to meet you. Do you want to sit in your chair?
Sure. Okay. That's cool. I guess I'm just getting kicked out of my own chair.
You're
the
boss
late
him
one.
around on the pre and post game show. You boss him around on the hangout.
He's the late one here, and I have to move and bow down to Mr. Jay Milne. Okay, here we go.
My.
Thank you.
Boom.
Hello,
But yes,
Jay.
back to the pressure of Ginla.
sorry to
That's the
interrupt.
thing. Like, I don't. Would you want that if a Ginla and like that? Whether you're Jerome or Tage, like, do you want to go in that situation where there's just an extra pressure that wouldn't be there if you're picked by any of the other 31 clubs in the NHL?
That's only a question only he can answer, I think, at this point. But I mean, it wouldn't be a shock to see it happen. But I also wouldn't be surprised at all if there's already an agreement in place that was, just don't take me.
Could be, yeah. Calgary also at 28, and then again at 41. They have a bunch of picks. That's why I say.
So how many first? Like, what years do they get the firsts?
Remember, one was like deferred because of what trade was that? what trade was that Dallas used to flip it?
Was it Dallas? Well, I know with the deal to
The
the
Tanev
Golden
one.
Knights.
Yeah.
It was also had some sort of
There's a
like it could be pushed for different years for the Golden Knights, so the Golden Knights could. Was that with the Flames? Might have been. But I'm just like,
I think that's what it was.
so yeah. So they got. Well, it says they got 2 firsts this year, but what's this star? There was a conditional pick or something. They got 2 next year, 2 in 2026. Something like that.
Yeah, it was if Dallas traded, or if Vegas made it something to do with if they traded something.
They
then
could
the
trade it
pickup-
at the deadline. Otherwise, it gets then it
Deferred to
gets
the next
deferred.
year,
If
yeah.
they don't, they get it or something like
And
that.
it felt like
It's-
Craig Conroy got played a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember we talked about that on Hello Hockey. Great show, by the way. Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Are you allowed to just say that about your own show?
Of course.
Just like that. Like, I think the 3 of us would be like, hello, hockey, great show. You go, nah, it's a fantastic show. I've never heard a better show in my life.
Yeah. How are the hosts?
One's okay, the other's phenomenal.
Do you know one thing? Also, just with the fact that you say, Guy, that it could go anywhere almost between 2 and like 13, 15 type thing.
Yeah.
What makes that fascinating too is then maybe that does lead to more trades too. Because, when it goes in a specific order, like I think maybe teams aren't as likely to jump around and trade down or trade up.
Sure.
Whereas here, there might be that player that drops to 8 or 9. That one team goes, for us, we can't let him drop any further. We need him right now. Whereas for other teams, they're going, oh, we're comfortable.
Yeah, and there's a lot
Keeps
of
on. And will teams then just be like, I'm going to jump up? And other teams going, we could get the player we want in a couple more picks. We will jump down and take an extra second or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of Russians and other Europeans that are ranked fairly high this year, and some teams will be more comfortable taking them than others will. So that might play into that shuffle a little bit as well. Like a guy like Ivan Demidov, probably skill-wise, might be the number 2 pick for a lot of teams, but there will be teams who probably won't take him in that number 2 spot. But if he's there at 6 or 7, they'll have to jump up. Kind of like Matvei Michkov last year.
Okay, so I have to ask this question. It's my favorite question to draft years every single year in any sport. Is this a good draft year? Is this a deep draft year? Like, how would you categorize this?
I wouldn't say it's a deep draft year. I think there's probably 14, 15 guys that are difference makers. I had somebody describe it as this is a roster filling out draft year as opposed to a draft where you're getting a lot of star players. You're going to get a lot of third and fourth line guys and fourth and fifth, sixth defensemen and maybe a backup. No, probably not even a backup goalie. It's not a great year for goalies.
Can I ask you a question about your process? Because, you're often referred to as the guy, the draft guru. I mean, I heard you on the way in speaking about when you guys used to do shows on 1260, how, Matt would say a name and you'd be like, who the hell is this guy?
Sure.
Guy Flaming knows who it is.
Yep.
How do you do that? And when do you start picking up on these guys? Like, what age are you starting to hone in?
The junior, I do color for the Oil Kings. So I watch a lot of Western Hockey League, and I've been doing this show since 2006. So I have a pretty good network of contacts throughout junior and college hockey and throughout North America. So I tap into that. I watch junior and college hockey. I barely watch the NHL. So I'm a little bit different in that regard. So I on a Saturday night, I'm watching the dub
I
or the
love that,
OHL or
actually.
college hockey.
It's awesome.
Like I watched maybe 5 Oiler games all season, and then I did tune into the playoffs and because it was exciting. But for the most part, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on
NHL.
the spot then.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you 2 names that I have an inside line on. I've got sources too. Okay, Guy.
You guys gonna fight?
No, I'm just
He's
kidding.
coming in like,
like
kicking me
coming
out of
in
my
high.
seat.
Yeah.
We got
Depends
here,
on
he's
the
like,
names.
"Hey, I'm better than you, Keith."
I'm not saying that. No, I honestly.
You said that under your breath. I heard it.
No, I did not.
That's what it sounded like you
These
said.
2 young men would love to come on the hangout one day. Just happen to train at the same gym as them.
Okay.
Really
Oh,
nice. Really
now
nice
just
dudes.
throwing out names.
Ryland Brown and Jack Silverberg.
I'm not familiar with Ryland Brown or Jack Silverberg. Where are they playing?
Okay, so both of them played. They played on the U19 Team Canada team. I think it was U19 or U20. Now they both last year played for Okotoks,
Okay.
and now both of them are going to NCAA.
Okay.
Both somewhere in Michigan, but
So then they're not draft eligible.
Well,
They
if
would-
they're at
well,
U19, they'd still be, but
If they're going to college.
they'd still be draft eligible if they're
I
under
guess, yeah,
20
it's
years
true.
old. But
I mean Ryland Brown, Sean Brown's son,
okay.
right?
Oh, right.
And then him and his buddy Jack Silverberg, two beauties, by the way. They're the nicest dudes, and they'd like I said, they'd like to come on here before they head out to their endeavors in the NCAA.
Right.
But so would they be aged out a bit in what in the people that you're focusing on?
Well, if they're still draft eligible, sure. I'm not sure what sort of a season they had in Okotoks this year. The team was okay. I'm not sure where they were in their pecking order and how
Well,
much. Well,
Jack, I know Jack was the captain of that Team Canada U19 team, so I would imagine that both of these guys, and they're all going on full ride to. I don't know exactly the schools, but they're schools I've heard of. I just don't follow NCAA hockey probably as much as either of you two. But you don't follow NCAA hockey?
No, no. I'm not gonna lie to people. I love it. No, I don't.
Well, anyways, they got a shout out on the show, and.
But those are guys, I think, Jay and Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, that a year or two down the road, if they start to put together good NCAA careers, they'll start to make noise and become guys that you talk about as late bloomers that might get signed.
Potential free agents.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get drafted, there's a lot of advantages to that as well. If you can carve out a nice college career for yourself, and then you have 2 or 3 teams bidding for you, basically.
Yep.
There's definitely advantages to not being drafted.
And it's a 2-year entry level. Not 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is just great.
And there's just so many different paths you can take, it seems, in hockey to get to the ultimate, reach the pinnacle of making the NHL or AHL, I guess, or however that goes. But, in football, it's pretty basic. You go to, especially in, if you're a Canadian player and you want to get to the CFL, well, you go play CIS, and then hopefully you get drafted, or U Sport. Aging myself. Sorry,
I'm a
Matt.
CAU guy.
Oh,
myself.
Wow.
That's the one that I wish they never got rid of that one.
That's hardcore. But that's the route. It seems in hockey, you got guys that are going out to this BC league. You got all these different leagues in Edmonton alone. I mean, it's just there's so much going on. It must be the hardest job in the world is to be a scout. Of amateur
I'm sure
hockey.
it is with the travel and it's probably. I don't want to say it's gotten easier. I'm not a scout, but with how much is available online now, I'm sure it's gotten a little bit easier. But I think there are a lot of teams and scouts themselves who prefer to be in the building as opposed to scouting by video.
Yeah, I'd imagine it would be nicer to see a player and not so much always what they're doing on the ice, but what they're doing off the ice on the bench, how they're
Absolutely.
communicating with their teammates.
I certainly think so. I think it's about just what's on the screen doesn't tell you the whole story. Because what's the guy doing away from the puck, and what's the guy doing with his teammates, and how's he interacting?
We had Shane Malloy on Hello Hockey last week, and he's still scouting and has been for 25 years. You know Shane, right? Yeah, and he was saying the same thing because we were talking about how there's a couple of NHL teams that have gone very video heavy, where it's like a digital scouting department. And they have less boots on the ground, and
Who's that? Buffalo?
yeah.
Well, know it.
Nailed it.
I didn't want to sue them, but yes, the Buffalo Sabres, and they continue to have struggles.
Yet they draft very well.
Yeah, but
I
then
don't know
they
if it's
piss it all away.
But is it their drafting that's the problem, or their development that's the problem?
Well, there's got to be a disconnect somewhere because it ain't working.
Yeah.
It ain't working. And Shane talked about that. He's like, you miss so much if you just hone in on only video and the data. Like, you need to see some things, and there needs to be a healthy blend of the two to make it work and to maximize both ends of the spectrum.
Terrapicula has money. It owns the Bills. To me, I don't know why you'd ever cheap out on a scouting department. If I owned an NHL franchise, I would make sure I'm the highest paid scouts in the National Hockey League.
It doesn't impact your salary cap.
Doesn't impact your salary cap. I'd want all the top scouts to be like, they're paying what there? I want to go work there. I would want to give them all the resources, everything, because your team's built largely on the draft. That's where the success could come. Why would you cheap out on that?
The draft is an avenue for free assets.
Yes.
That you could convert to actual players at some point.
Well, either they'll be a player or they're the chip
Exactly.
that used to get that other player.
The draft is your $200 for pass and go every year, basically.
That's a great analogy for it.
It is. That's what it is, and some people piss it away, and others utilize it. So I don't know. It's interesting that way.
I could hear the Gagers listening to F1 right now. I could hear the.
He's like a kid in a candy shop out there. He's just
Well, he's got free booze.
Yeah,
F1.
what a
Talked
day.
to Tim Hurraney today.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Hoots. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milky, Flaming, Tom Gazzola with you here. I just want. Are you guys intrigued by the Sphere with this at the Sphere?
Yes.
In what regard? Just the,
To watch
the
it at
building
the Sphere.
itself?
Yeah, well, to watch the
It's
because
cool.
here's I will give the NHL credit. They're the first big sporting event to take place at the Sphere.
Yep.
Right.
That's a pretty cool accomplishment to get it. The NFL's not there first.
Yep.
F1 was outside driving around, but they weren't inside the Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
They're the first league in North America to actually take advantage of the whole Sphere in itself. And
No
the
boxing
spectacle.
or MMA?
It's MMA's next. MMA's going to actually
the-
do an event in there.
Yes,
like, with
they haven't
actual-
done it. I think it's only been the concerts and like the
Movie.
the movie that we saw there and the film that you saw there. So like the
Saw a
fact.
movie there?
Well, it was called Postcard from Earth. It was a way to go into the Sphere. It's like a 50-minute long movie. That's like the evolution of the world and how it happened and stuff.
Okay.
But it was a really cool way to just see the Sphere where it's like me, Dusty, and Eric went there and it was, I think our showing was like 10 o'clock at night or something like that.
Dusty, Eric, and I.
Me, Eric, and Dusty, we were there, and like as the thing came on, it felt like we were outside. Like I felt like I don't know if you guys watched The Simpsons in the episode when they turn on all the street lights, so that there's always light. It felt like that they like it was that bright out. It was incredible.
Everybody said that film is spectacular because of like the depth perception
Yes.
and all of that.
It made me want to see Interstellar there.
That would be insane. That'd be trippy.
Because like the seats move and stuff, and there's like the sounds, like all of it.
Your seats move at the
a
Sphere?
little bit. They like you could feel it a bit.
Oh my gosh, really?
You can also talk to robots in the lobby, like
Yes.
interactive robots.
Okay.
But it's like
That's
like
too
to me,
far.
it's just like one of the coolest like movie experiences I think you could ever have. Let alone I could imagine what a concert would be like.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'm just excited to see what the NHL might have done with this. I just saw Sportsnet doing a hit yesterday inside there. And I'm just like, this does look really neat.
What do you think they'll do? Like have like 50-story high replays going of the player that's been drafted? Or?
Yes, they the league put out like a whole press release about it, and apparently like they will be showing what's going on inside on the outside. So if you're like driving on the freeway, you'll be like, oh, Macklin Celebrini first overall. All right, and they'll be showing live video on the outside of what's happening on the inside for the first time.
Okay.
And they have all kinds of different engagement and stuff like that. They're maximizing both inside and outside of the screen, which is cool. Like they went in depth, and it's like, all right, you're using both sides of the screen at the same time. That's cool. I get it. But there's like a 10-paragraph thing about it. I am excited about it. I think it's very cool, very neat. Finally, it's nice to see the NHL kind of pushing a little bit.
Trying to be
outside of-
hang with the cool kids?
Yeah,
Well, that's
like,
their city.
it is.
It's not
They're
the
there
it's not the
first.
NFL's.
Yep.
It's definitely not baseballs, and right now it's not basketballs. I could see basketball one day being better than
It's
the
gonna
Golden
get
Knights
in
there.
there, yeah.
When it gets there, I could see that team being more loved than the Golden Knights potentially. But no, they love the Golden Knights out there.
Yes.
They absolutely do, and it's their team.
Yeah.
And in the end, like it did help a city because when they first puck drop happened, it did help a city heal
Yeah.
after very tragic events. And I remember talking about that to just some people in Vegas down there when we were there. That really brought people closer to that franchise as well.
Yeah.
So and then they won. They're winners.
They're good.
It's wild. They're winners.
Yeah, and they were chirping Miami, Fort Lauderdale. There's an account I follow, Las Vegas Locally. It's actually very funny. I enjoy going down there, by the way. That's why. And they were like, if this wouldn't be the case in an actual NHL city, and they're hearkening it back to last year when the Cup had a fun time in Vegas when the Golden Knights had won it. And the video that they used and reposted was like a couple of the Panthers players on the beach, like crossing the street from in Fort Lauderdale, and like a couple people were like, yeah, whoo, and they're like honking. And then there's like one lady kind of like looking at them with this big trophy.
That was like almost like security footage of just. I
No,
think-
it was just-
It did look like security
and like
footage.
Yeah.
this dude's hanging the
They
cup
grabbed
over his.
someone's ring doorbell
Yeah.
camera and then just filmed
That
it.
it's like nobody gives a crap.
I don't think that would. And you know what? This is great timing. You know what I think about the Sphere and the draft? I could give 2 hoots.
Hey now.
Hey now, I just, you know what? I'm over the Sphere. I've seen it enough on socials until I go there and you can see it in person. Okay.
Well, but to me, it's also just the business thing where it is going to get people interested in it.
In the
because-
sphere or in the draft?
watching this draft from like I think some more casuals. where
Maybe
it's-
for the first 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, but still, it's just getting a little extra for the National Hockey League.
Sure.
Like if the NFL was going there, we'd all be praising the NFL, or everyone would be playing and like,
Correct.
look how cool this is. Look what they're doing.
Correct.
The NHL's now doing it first.
Yeah.
And when the NFL goes there, because the NFL will be in the sphere one day,
Of course.
they'll do something in the sphere one day. The NHL could be like, "We beat you. We beat you. We got there before you.
Yep.
Take that."
Yep.
No, that's a fair point.
And then Gary Bettman laughs and goes, "Well, we got billions of dollars. You don't, so go away." But still, the NHL has
Yep.
that one thing on the National Football League.
Hey,
It does.
That Vegas insider that you follow, is that how you know how to use like your MGM rewards
Yes,
cards
actually.
and stuff and get those
Yeah.
Jello shooters?
It's Las Vegas locally. They're very funny. It's very good, and that city is crazy, man. It's like the Yeg wave of Vegas.
Oh, wow.
basically. Yeah. Yeah. That's how
Yegwave's
it-
really made a name for themselves, haven't they?
Well, I don't know how to feel about
it's.
Yegwave.
I'm not saying it's maybe the most positive of names,
Yeah.
but it sure has made a name on Twitter.
To whoever came up with it and runs it, like they've struck with something. It's just like some of the stuff you're like, oh, that's awful. But it happens in every city. So
Is that the Twitter account that just shows everybody fighting on?
yeah, that's the one,
Every so often now, they do actually try to post something nice.
which is appreciated.
They also are posting a lot of stuff now, I feel like, from other cities too.
Well, they have a Calgary one.
But from the Yag Wave, they're posting like different things that are happening elsewhere. I don't know. But I guess they got
Guilty
caught.
conscience.
They got caught posting some stuff. Who was telling us? Might have been Lance Kane when he was in
Oh.
Nasty Club member.
Saying
Yeah.
it was Edmonton and it
No,
wasn't.
no. Well, posting stuff from last year, this year, from the
see,
Moss
that's-
Pit. They got caught, I guess, doing that a little bit.
That's where you know I don't want to go on a diatribe here, but that's where the openness of and the platform of social media to those who don't have training, schooling, education, or want to follow certain practices, they get caught.
Social media sucks.
It's
Let's just go
it's
there.
a
It does.
cesspool of
It's
stupidity.
awful, but it's also great at the
Yes,
exact
I
same
know.
time. Nasty chat want to get in here. MCTV podcast. I'm assuming that's Majo. Maybe
Has
it's
to.
maybe it's CG.
What's up, Mash?
Gay Flaming in all caps with 3 crown emojis.
Okay.
The king over here. It's not LeBron James who's the king. It's Guy Flaming.
I miss those guys.
Big Slam Nasty. Glue Guy woke up and decided it's elbows up, knees out this Friday morning. And Penner's Pancakes. Maddie, did I just read that Big Brother Canada got canceled? It did. It did. We'll deal with that another day in the summer. We got lots of time in the summer. I don't know why it got canceled. It's more entertaining than the American one. It's more chaotic than the American one, and it's gone. We won't continue with that.
Wow.
Where do we? So Celebrini, he goes to the Sharks. Who's the next best player in your eyes then?
We'll see, and that's up for debate. Because it could be. I think Chicago will go with a big defenseman named Artie Levshinov, who played at Michigan State.
Sorry.
But who do you like? Who would you like? Who do you think is number 2? And then because based on this, it sounds like you're saying that you think teams will now draft maybe a little more need as opposed to top player.
Well, possibly. It's a really good year for defensemen. There's a number of defensemen that are going to be ranked pretty high. But like, there's this big 6'7" defenseman out of Russia who might be. I think he's a bit of a project. Silayev. Is that how you pronounce it? Silayev. But I don't know that every team that's picking in the top 10 will want to take a Russian in that spot. So he's a guy who could be there still at 6 or 7 or 12 just because of his passport. It seems like when I've talked to a lot of people, Zeev Bouillon is a really interesting player. He plays for the Denver Pioneers, a defenseman. He seems to be nobody's number 1 defenseman, but everybody's number 2 defenseman. So whoever goes as that first defenseman, he might be the next guy. So if Chicago goes with Levshinov, then maybe Anaheim takes Bouillon. But then there's going to be some forwards there, like big Caden Lindstrom, who plays for the Medicine Hat Tigers. Lots of potential, big, powerful guy. Back problems this year. So where does he go if that's a concern moving forward? We mentioned Berkeley Catton a little bit earlier. T.J. Ginla. These are all guys who could go anywhere from 2 to 12. So that's. I know I'm kind of skirting around your question.
That's
it's
fair.
It's that tight this year.
Well, I mean, like usually you just try to draft best player available, but maybe now for these teams, best player available, everything's so close, and then you have to defer to, okay, what's the team need?
Yeah, and some of these teams have been picking pretty high for a while. Like Anaheim, this is probably 3 or 4 years in a row that they've had a top pick. So last year they went forward. Do they go defense this year, or
Well, the Oilers for a while they didn't. They had other team needs and they
That's
kept
right.
going with the same position.
yeah? So
Brilliant.
I remember
You
those
said
years.
Anaheim. Did you guys see the new jerseys and the new color scheme
Yeah.
they came out with?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I'm glad they're going back to the Mighty Duck.
I like the Mighty Duck. I mean, that's a lot of orange in your
Pants
face.
are the thing.
The pants, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the
didn't notice.
Oilers when they went with the reverse retro in the COVID year, and they had the orange pants. That was the one thing the players really didn't like. There were supposed to be white gloves too, and that got changed to orange.
I need, for these things, I need to see them on the ice for the
Yeah.
full look. Because like I remember the Heritage Classic jersey, there was a lot of like with the pants in. I was like, I think that will look really well in Commonwealth Stadium, and it did look really well in Commonwealth Stadium. I like the orange.
The Sharks went all teal, right? They switched to the all teal with the teal pants, and it actually looks all right too. We'll see how the orange pops, but the orange helmet is what I actually really liked. I thought that was a nice touch, very unique. That becomes their thing. Kind of how like Nashville went with the yellow bucket,
Right.
and just own that. So
does anybody like the shiny
No.
helmets like
I
LA
like 'em.
and Vegas?
No.
You like
I
those?
like them actually.
Terrible.
They're different.
Doesn't LA have a
Yeah.
variation of that too?
They have a silver, chrome
They've
or
got
the
chrome
silver.
and
Yeah,
Vegas has
I'm
got
not a
the
big
gold
fan.
ones. Me neither.
I'm really. I find it distracting, almost arrogant.
my buddy worked for the Kings
Arrogant.
Yeah.
for the last couple of years, and he was telling me that those chrome silver helmets that the Kings wore, they'd have to send the shells to Germany, get them chrome dipped there, and then bring them back. They're like $500 each to chrome dip them, and then so they wouldn't let the players keep them. They'd have to auction them off and make some money back, even though they're the Kings.
Wow.
That seems odd. to
Well,
me.
it's every team and department still has a budget, so I think that's what it came down to.
I did like Vancouver's matte black
the
ones,
mat.
though.
The mat looks
I
good.
didn't mind those.
Yeah.
I like the shininess occasionally. I don't know.
What could the Oilers? Well, I mean, they are coming out with a third jersey next year. Is that correct? I believe I saw you
last I
saying
was
that.
told they were cooking up something for
You're the
25,
jersey
26.
insider.
I love jerseys. No, they're not going back to copper and blue. Apparently, very important people high up do not like that look in that.
I wonder
color
if they try and go with a little bit of that matte look.
They could try. There was a time actually when the NHL was trying, and they did it in Stadium Series and Winter Classics, like the big blown up logo on the helmets. They made every team try that on their helmets, and didn't go very well. But they tried it. So, yeah. So something new is being cooked up for 25, 26, last I was told.
Is there a team that does anything special with their helmets in terms of like a design, a paint design? Like you think of the Michigan Wolverines, I'm sure you've seen the hockey team.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have the yellow
Like
striping.
the football team, right?
Right. Ohio State has, it looks like their football helmet with the stripe down the
That's
middle.
a great point.
But does anybody kind of do that with their helmets in the NHL?
No.
Who could do it? Who could do it that it would streamline? Like, let's say, have a stripe down the center of your helmet.
Yeah.
Like, who would that? Or and maybe wings, like the Detroit Red
Yeah.
Wings could have.
Well, that was the first team I thought
Do
of
not.
too.
The Red Wings won't allow that.
Didn't
They're a franchise that doesn't change.
didn't
with wings.
Hasek kind of do it?
Yeah, on his golden
Yes.
mask.
Because
Yes.
he wore like a bucket helmet
Yeah.
instead of a.
Yeah, he
But
did
I don't
that.
think the skater like that's a franchise that were like over the years, all the new jersey manufacturers, everyone's come in with these great ideas,
Right.
and the Red Wings go, thanks, but no.
Well, maybe
Stick
Utah
with the
does
same.
it.
Stick with I think the only thing they changed
Maybe
was
Utah
the C
can
or
do it.
something.
Have they announced their name?
Yeah, hockey
officially?
club for the year.
June 26th, I thought was the end of round 2 voting.
Yeah, the
I
voting's
think it
happening
was.
right now.
So that comes to an end right away.
I love
Or
that.
it just
It
came
would be
to an
great
end.
if they just debuted it tonight.
I
Like
know.
if they had it
You wanna know
quietly done.
Yeah,
They
that would
might.
sneaky good.
You never know. I love the Utah Hockey Club. Cass said it on Two Guys a few weeks ago. UHC. How great is that? Just going. We're taking UHC tonight.
Sounds like a JUCO college in New Hampshire.
I love it.
Awful.
There's an
It's so fitting for Utah. It's just
no. It's also
boring.
there's an arrogance, and especially
No,
if
it
this.
isn't.
Yes, there is. We're the hockey club.
No, they're not.
There's no
That's
brat.
the point. But
There's
they
no
are.
brat to
if
that
they're the
name.
Utah Hockey Club, they are the hockey club. They can go around and, oh, who are you playing tonight? Well, who are the Oilers playing tonight? They're playing the hockey club. Like, and you know who it is. And it's Utah of all teams. It's not the Leafs. It's not the
Okay,
Rangers. None
okay.
of those original
But
six.
you're-
They get to go around and be like, we're the hockey club.
First of all,
You're saying
it's-
two different things, by the way.
It's arrogance.
You're saying you like UHC. I like the hockey club.
No.
I
It's-
don't
but
like
they're the
UHC.
Utah Hockey Club.
Right. But that's fine.
But then you could shorten it to UHC
No,
if
no,
you
no, no,
want
no.
to.
Those are two
And then you
different
could just-
worlds.
It's like the
They
Oilers.
cannot
It's not the
coincide
Oilers.
together.
Why not?
They don't. Washington Football Club was a great name
100%
before they
football team.
terribly sewered us and went with the Commanders.
Yes.
That's
Gross.
an awful name, commies.
But it was never referred to as a WFC. Never.
Because it's a T. WFT. They were a team. not a club.
WFT. Wow.
It wasn't a club. They were a
First of
football
all,
team.
let's get this
Um,
straight.
no,
There's
I-
only one hockey club, and
there
it's
isn't.
the Club de Hockey Canadien. They are still technically,
I don't care. They're the Montreal Canadiens.
yeah, but they're Club de Hockey
And that's where the
Canadien.
Utah could come in and take over the claim as the
They
hockey
cannot.
team. They can, because if they're the Utah hockey team, if you say who's the hockey team, it's the Utah. It's just like
Montreal
saying who are the
Canadiens.
Oilers. Well, that's Edmonton.
Even
who's
I
the
respect
hockey
the
team? It's
Canadiens.
Utah. That's why I
Even
love the
I
arrogance of
no.
it. Is that you
No.
come in and you tell all the 31 other teams we're the team, the hockey team. It's the best.
Who you playing tonight? UHC, bruh.
Yes.
And then people will be like, who the hell's that, bruh?
Bruh.
They know who it is.
Nobody has a clue. With those nondescript uniforms that got so much
See?
praise for being
Dr. Nutsy Dealson, the
Crappy.
more Maddie says UHC, the more I like it. Me and Cass said this, and then actually, as soon as Cass said UHC, immediately Gager's like, yes, because he wasn't on board, and now Gager became a little bit on board of the
Brutal.
hockey club.
brutal.
What do you think, E?
I'm stuck on the jerseys. You like those jerseys?
No, I think they're horrendous.
They're exactly like the Winnipeg Ice jerseys.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like with the Winnipeg Ice just had a bunch of jerseys.
How do you have
sitting
jerseys
in a?
if you don't have a name?
Well, they're going as Utah Hockey Club this season.
Literally
I've
says
never seen them. This is
Utah
gonna be
on
my-
the
they're just
design.
black trim with the.
Utah.
It's
like-
very collegiate,
powder
almost,
blue.
if you will, too. Just
It's
the
the
name.
Winnipeg Ice without a
It is.
Yeah,
without a
you
logo.
posted
Yeah.
the
Rocky
comparison on
Mountain
Twitter.
Blue.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's garbage.
What's year one?
So what?
So what?
Because they're gonna have it all. Because look, if you're Ryan Smith too, people will buy this jersey this year, and then you come out as either the Utah Hockey Club and you make a brand new jersey, or you come out as the Utah Yetis, and people are gonna want the new merch, and you go back to back years where people are buying a bunch of merch.
Well, speaking of a team that could design something on their helmet, maybe stripe.
That's what I mean.
That would be it.
Yeah.
Because they're so
Brand new
striped.
team. Why don't you be the first
Yeah.
to do that?
That's an awful
VR
sweater.
Montenegro throwing this out there. We also came up with this between Cass Gager and I. I still like the Toronto Hockey Club for a second Toronto team.
A second Toronto
That would be a
team.
backhand smack.
Well,
to
think
the
about
Leafs.
it's THC.
Oh,
That is good, actually.
oh, Michael.
That would I do.
They're
Like,
THC.
Tip of the cap to you,
And
sir.
then-
Yeah.
You make sure you got a leaf on there too in
Yeah.
some way,
Oh,
shape, or form.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's right.
Different
Yeah,
type of
it's
leaf.
not a maple leaf.
Yeah.
That would be
What's
funny.
that?
what is that leaf?
Yeah, no, it's the Toronto
that
Hockey
is a
Club.
marijuana leaf.
THC tonight. Taking on
Yeah.
THC.
Yeah. I like that. Well played, VR.
That is
Montenegro.
great.
Yeah.
See, it's all working. It's all coming together. We're gonna get rid of these other names. We're gonna start going to hockey clubs and
Yeah.
sporting clubs and all of that.
Exactly.
Ah.
Just it's the Maple Leafs jersey, but
Horrible.
in green with a pot
Yes.
leaf instead of a maple leaf. And Toronto
So bad.
Hockey
So
Club.
bad.
Perfect.
You
No.
guys love this. You guys love it.
And by love, I mean hate.
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout brought to you by the 2024 Holinka Gretzky Cup, which is coming to Edmonton this summer, which we're already in summer. Rogers Place will host the best U18 hockey players in the world from August 5th to the 10th. 7-game, 14-game ticket packs available at holinkagretzky.ca or ticketmaster.ca. Speaking of tickets, I do got a 4-pack of tickets to the Edmonton Stingers, which are they're playing on Saturday down at the Expo Center. You could do the doubleheader Canada Day here in Edmonton.
be
You got the
awesome.
Stingers in the afternoon. You got the Riverhawks at night. It's going to be wonderful here. We got a 4-pack of tickets to see the Edmonton Stingers down at the Expo Center. Text UHC.
No.
UHC
my
to 780-218-9999. And I'll put you into a draw for those 4-pack of tickets to see the Edmonton Stingers, who are having a great season this year. Hey, maybe contenders for the title. They absolutely would have to be up there. They're taking on Saskatchewan. It's going to be a pretty tight game, I would say, at the very top. Those two teams, I saw those two teams play a few weeks ago at the Expo Center, and it came pretty close down. 7-3 Stingers taking on the 5-5 Rattlers. 4 o'clock on Saturday or on Monday. So again, that's at 4. Goes till about 6-ish. Head on down to Remax.
And get the
where Keep
fireworks
Flaming's
show
going to
up.
be.
Yeah, I'm going on
Watch
Monday.
the
Yeah,
Riverhawks game. But text this UHC to 780-218-9999 and you'll go into a draw for those Stingers tickets.
Really quickly, on the topic of the second Toronto team, aka THC, text came in from Calgary, said start time 4:20.
Oh, have to.
Very good.
Have to.
Have to.
Also, I just had one text that just said, Maddie, you're an idiot. So
Sorry, did I hit send on
Come
that?
pick up your prize pack later of a box of Hoots.
You just one text of the day.
I must say, we've been to a few Stinger games.
it's your season ticket holder over here.
I split season seats with our good friend Damon Bunting.
Ah, Damon.
Remax Elite.
Remax Elite, everyone's realtor. But the start time of 4:00 is fantastic. I love it.
Those games go quick,
They
too.
go quick. We were out of the parking lot last game at 6:20.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we went, no big deal. But my one of my best friend's wife is Julie Greening. We've talked about her.
I saw Julie last week.
Yeah, she was
2 weeks ago.
she was running the truck. So they were over the night before, and she said, "Look, why don't you guys come? I'll give you a tour because I usually take a neighbor kid because there's 6 seats, right? So we had my other buddy's kids, so we all went for a tour of this truck. So game finished, went for a tour of the truck, met the drone guy. You ever heard of the drone guy?
No.
He's the guy.
There's a drone going in the stadium.
There's a guy in the
That's filming.
arena that's doing the drone, but that's not all he does. He does, those wide angle shots of Rogers Place when the Oilers are playing. That's him.
Nice.
He's the drone guy for the Stingers, the Elks, and the Oilers.
The Elks one is really, it looks cool.
Yeah. So met him, and we were still out of the parking lot at 6:20.
Wow.
Damn.
That's not bad. As a parent, that's important. Especially on that was a Sunday night leading into the last week of school.
It was
So you're
leading into
home in
Game
time
7 the night before the next day.
You're home in time to get the kids bath, get them in bed, reading books, whatever. It is nice for parents. There's so many things that are family friendly with the Stingers that they just knock it out of the park.
In the final year of FC Edmonton, actually, in the second half of the season, they played a lot of Sundays at 4. And I found there's a lot of families at those games.
Because it's easy to do. Because you can still
Is
then
it better
go.
than 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock is okay. But 4 o'clock, if you go at 4, then maybe you can grab dinner on the way home or something.
Oh,
and then they're fed and watered.
Right.
It's hard to feed. But you go to the Stingers game, hot dogs are $3.
Yeah.
Everything there. Popcorn's $2.
That's great.
Pop is $1.50. It's like you're stepping back in time going to Fort Edmonton Park. The prices, but it makes it it's been full there. It's a great atmosphere.
That's
They
good.
sold out last game.
Does it zap the kids' energy? And that's a good thing, too. But
They are so the kids were asking for high fives from the players. Shout out to Brody Clark, former Bears player. He made a special trip both times coming on and off the court to do that for the kids.
Nice.
It's the simplest little thing, but for those kids, it sure meant a lot.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, we all used to get, I'm sure, autographs, right? And
Yep.
who's the best autograph? I know my initial answer would be Giz. Back in the day, Gizmo Williams, number 2. It was a coveted autograph. I have no idea where it is now, but
which
Gee?
one that I
think.
Yeah, you
I'm
geek.
trying
I
to
don't have a
remember.
lot of autographs,
See, I grew
actually.
up in Cold Lake, which is 3 hours away, so I didn't see a whole lot of pro sports here. What we used to get is in the off season, guys who are from that area would have autograph signings or whatever
Come home
at the local sporting goods store. I remember I got. I don't think Clark Gillies is from around there, but I got a Clark Gillies autograph.
Wow.
Once upon a time, Gary Howitt. Do you know that name? He used to be a tough guy with the New York Islanders in the early '80s. He's actually from Cold Lake, but at the time I had no idea who he was. But outside of that, I wasn't a big autograph guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
My coolest one, I didn't go and get the autograph, but I've told this story. I really like coloring hockey masks, and when I was a kid, and the McDonald's had this thing, design Oilers mask, and you could win a signed Curtis Joseph jersey, and I won.
No
at
way.
The McDonald's I submitted it to, I did the mask. You had to do a side profile on the front view. I think I was 10 or 11, and I actually won it. So I still have that jersey. I talked to Jack at Pro-Am. I need to get the Joseph put on the back, but that's for another day.
I don't know. My brother once got me a Kevin Martin signing because he saw
Cool.
Kevin Martin. I was at the time, I was really I still am big into curling, but I was getting into it, and so I was excited about that. I think it was not too long after the Olympics of '02, maybe. The best autograph I actually had was just last summer. That was Terry Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
Like it just that one meant a lot to me, and a
Right,
chance
you got
to meet
that
Terry Vaughn.
at the silent auction, right?
No. That was I bought that. I got an actual Terry. I met Terry Vaughn, took a picture with him, and
Right.
signed it because like he was my favorite Eskimo growing up, like by far. Him and Shannon Garrett were my two favorites.
Really, Shannon Garrett.
Loved Shannon Garrett. Loved.
He was great.
He was
Yeah.
great. I loved secondary. I always liked like in Madden. I'd either create myself as an offensive player, but if I was defense, it was always a secondary player. I wanted the pick sixes.
Beautiful.
I loved Shannon Garrett was just so cool. But Terry Vaughn was the big one, and when they announced that they were putting his name up on the wall, like I told JMO like right off, but like I need to meet this guy. He's like, I got you. I got you. And then when he was doing his autograph section, I actually feel a little bad. Is that JMO was like, come like to there was at the President's Club or whatever it is on the east side of the stadium, quarterback club.
Oh
club.
yeah.
Went there and people are in line and doing it. And I was like, oh, I'll wait till like it's over and I'll sign. Jim's like, no, it's okay. And he like stops the autograph
Yeah,
session,
yeah, yeah.
gets
Wow.
Terry to stand up, come meet me, a quick chat. And so, apologies to all those people that were in line. But yeah, he
Round of clicks for JMO, I think.
JMO,
on
that's
that
No
one.
kidding.
But then it was just like the best. I was so excited to meet Terry. He was so cool. I told him how much I loved him growing up, and but then I was at the auction for Heavy Hockey Showdown, and there was a Terry Vaughn's
That's
picture, and I was like, no, like this is mine.
Yeah.
No one's taking this. Somebody outbid me once. I was like, let's go higher. You want to get in this game? Let's get in this game. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
All right, Batman, let's go. What I love about that JMO story with the Terry Vaughn, I hope to God someone in line recognized you.
The heel just keeps
Iwanyk.
developing.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of round of clicks, I got a personal round of clicks here I'd like to give. It is my oldest daughter, Grace. It's her birthday today.
Hey, Grace.
Round of clicks. Happy 12th birthday.
Is she watching?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Grace.
Maddie got you a gift. It's a box of 2 Hoots.
Start them early.
April's gonna love it.
Yeah.
April will love that, actually. So no, it's going to be fun. We got the pool going.
Saw
got
that.
it cleaned out and ready.
Team effort.
Now today's got to get the heater going,
Yeah.
and then the birthday party's tomorrow. So
It's
the
gonna be
place will
great.
be buzzing tomorrow. Yeah,
How old did you say?
she's turning 12.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Fun
I'm
age.
surrounded by females in my house. So I've got obviously April, my wife, and then I've got 3 daughters.
Okay.
And then my mother-in-law is living with us right now.
Oh.
And no, she's a saint. Like, she's,
Yeah, I know, but that's
I've
a lot
talked
of women
about
in
that.
there.
It is. I'm. If anybody needs, can help me, please. No, it's just we need more testosterone around there.
That's why you got boys' time when you come in.
I screwed up big time there. Apologies to everyone.
What'd you do?
Oh.
I forgot to plug in the power for the laptop.
Oh, we've been off the air?
No, we've actually been on, but the battery, like, good thing I looked at one point, the battery's about to die, but I think it took down our audio stream. So people are saying we got Whale and the Wolf on, and that's because, it's, I think it went into like a power saving mode and took us off or something. So
Well,
we're
shoot.
back up. So apologies to those on the audio stream for that.
So they all missed that big story that you just
Well,
had?
it's on YouTube still.
Okay.
So hopefully Grace was watching.
Oh yeah, that's how
listening.
they. No, they just put it on the
then-
TV
then we're
and they're good.
But yeah, I have it there, and I just for some reason didn't actually plug it into the laptop.
We got a bunch of good texts real quick. I know we got to move on, but Big Uke says, my coolest autograph isn't one guy, but the entire 06-07 Dallas Stars team. My uncle got everyone to sign it, gave it to me for Christmas. Coolest gift ever.
What year?
06-07.
Okay.
John the Breadman says, I had an autographed Gretzky 1,500 point card. Got it when he was playing in LA against Calgary. Sadly lost all my cards to a fire. That sucks, John the Breadman. And then, actually, Jason LeDuc says, I bought a year's subscription to TSN Plus. Now I get to watch CEBL games. I'm excited to check it out. $40 for the year. Done. I said done. Support them. They're a good team. They're doing good stuff. Absolutely.
Don't get me started on TSM Plus.
Well, I'm not saying that's the good stuff, but like the Stingers are doing good stuff.
If you subscribe to TSN online only, they give you TSN Plus for free. But if you're a subscriber to TSN through cable, you have to pay extra for TSN Plus.
We
Like,
have our
let's
gripes
go.
with them.
Well, I hate
have
those
our
things.
gripes.
Like I subscribe to you. Give me my other feeds too with it. Don't put things on there. And again, this isn't just a TSN thing. This is a bigger picture thing. But you are just pushing me to find other avenues to watch these things. I know a lot of different ways to watch things where you're not getting my money now. So just take my money and give me the products. Otherwise, I will stop giving you my money and I will find a way to watch this a different way. I am capable of doing that, and I will gladly show many other people how to do it as well. There's my little rant.
Have you guys seen? I think the CFL has like this interactive way of watching.
CFL Plus is like a stats broadcast.
Yeah, like why
watched
isn't
that.
Have you?
Why isn't that
A
an
little
option?
bit.
On
How is it?
It seemed okay from what I saw.
But
I
like,
heard
are they
the turf
showing
people
like
talking about that
player
this week.
trackers and such, like and speed and all that?
I
stuff?
guess like
Like,
if they're punting, like it'll show you the hang time.
yeah.
That's where
You're a
the
big
chip
punter.
technology is starting to kick in.
But why isn't that on one of the 5 TSN feeds during the broadcast? Like
Well-
how Monday Night Football they do the Mannings on
Yeah.
the other one, right?
I mean, they could do that. I'm sure it's something to do with the fiscal element, but the tracking. I remember when the NHL started putting chips in the jerseys. They actually it goes as far back as like 2015. I remember talking to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in Columbus at the draft, and they slipped in the little thing on the shoulder for the tracking. I'm like, could you feel it? He's like, nah, I can't even tell it's there. And it wasn't until like 5 years ago ish they started implementing it into the broadcast. So from what I was told, there was a lot of kinks, and they had to feel it out. They had to troubleshoot and work through all of that before they could incorporate it into the broadcast. So maybe this is CFL's toe in the water with utilizing that technology live in the data tracking. But I like it. It's kind of neat.
Or at least, TSN and their post-game analysis or on Sports Center. Throw a couple of those in just to. I didn't know about it until we had Marshall Ferguson on the morning show yesterday, and I was just, doing some research on him, and here he reposted something about it, and I looked into it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't think most CFL fans would even know it exists.
Well, the CFL does not do a great job of making things known to people, or people don't care. And there's.
I'll tell you, they do a really good job. We talked about it last night.
How far was your punt?
72 yards.
Hey, 72-yard punt.
High school.
72 yards.
Damn, Gee.
Wow.
I got a friendly bounce.
No, that was a great punt. It's a great punt.
Hang time was 22 seconds.
It didn't look like it was ever going to come down. And then all of a sudden it just came shooting down.
That must have been a rocket.
It was good. I put it over the guy's head, and then I got a friendly bounce, and it kept going.
Well, you get those friendly bounces when you turn the ball over, right?
Yeah.
And then it just goes back and back and back. And a little bit of wind.
They can hear us now.
Oh, you got it fixed?
Yeah.
What happened? Did you
I
break
don't know.
something?
No, this actually hasn't happened in a really long time. Where all of a sudden our audio stream or our program it just stops and you have to go to a different one. So
Fix it.
well, it's back.
I know, I'm just teasing you.
And our camera's glitchy. This is not this laptop does not want to work well today.
Did you break it?
Like it's very glitchy.
Okay. Well, we have 52 minutes left in the show.
This is gonna be an interesting final 52 minutes. I'll just tell you that right now.
Coach Mike said, "Whale in the Wolf again." Now the stream is super distorted. Oh boy.
Oh, that I gotta figure out. That I know what I know what that is.
You gonna fix that?
Well, that's just the button, but this program's going really slow. Look at that. And you click that guy, and it didn't click. Unclick. There we go. So that should fix the YouTube if it's the distortion.
Echo.
Well, one said distortion. Now it says, "Are we doing this underwater?" Jeez.
What is going on?
We're plugged in. We've got power, so now I got to listen to this. You guys keep talking amongst yourselves.
What do you got planned for the birthday party for Grace?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, Tom.
Spoilers.
Yeah, she's listening right now.
Let it all out of the.
No, it's all good. She's having some of her friends over tomorrow.
Yeah.
Little pool party, little cake.
Grill? Are you going to be grilling?
I'll be grilling, baby.
Yeah, you're grilling.
Probably some dogs, some brats.
Some glizzies?
Yeah, some glizzies, whatever that is.
Hot dogs.
Yeah, I
Hot
don't know what
dogs?
that is.
Do
Okay.
you not know what a glizzy is?
How do I
I've never
know?
heard
You
that.
never heard that
know.
either? Must be a young thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm
Some
way older than
glizzies.
you
What does
guys.
that even
It's a
mean?
hot dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some glizzies are going to be happening up in that house. No, just kind of chill out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a long while since we've all been kind of together, and now that school's out, summer's here. You can maybe spend a little bit more time together as a family, which will be very, very welcoming.
You said you have 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Is 12 the oldest or
Yep.
youngest or middle?
Yeah.
Oldest.
Yeah, 12, 9, and 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Settle in.
Thank you. Thoughts and prayers can be emailed to jay@edmontonsportstalk.com.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no, it's all good. How
Are
we
you
sounding,
speaking from
man?
We're
experience?
well in the Wolf's on right now, but I shut us off
Well, I have.
on purpose.
So we're just.
Oh,
talking
no, we're still on
amongst
YouTube.
ourselves?
Where
Okay.
the audio stream should be coming back shortly here. I just got to make sure
I
that.
have a daughter. She's now 25,
Okay.
but I did go through that teen
There we go.
experience for sure.
What advice
We're
would you
good, by
shout
the
out
way,
me?
quick.
Wear a
To the
helmet?
audio stream again, apologies, but we should be good on audio stream. We should be good on YouTube,
Matthew fixed it.
I think.
Way to go, Matt.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, this is fatherly advice here.
Oh, I
Yeah.
said wear a helmet.
Oh,
It'll get interesting. Teen girls are
Like they like to throw things at you?
volatile. Yes.
Okay, noted. Helmet. I got a couple of those kicking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's what do you it's a it's a Canada Day long weekend. I know you said you're gonna be working on Monday, maybe, or see
No,
how
I
it
will
goes.
be here.
Yeah,
We'll be
you'll
on the air at 10 o'clock. I think Zacticum's coming in, which is great. We'll connect with Tommy.
Yeah, I'll be here.
We'll connect with Gager, hopefully. We'll connect with Dusty a little bit, but it is for agency day. In the hockey world, it's a work
Big
day.
day.
It's a work day.
I might be a little bit inebriated, but I'll give you the goods. Or I'll wait.
That's why you're not coming in.
I'll wait till I'll wait till I do my hit in my 20 minutes or whatever, and then I'll
Wow,
start
busy
drinking.
Sunday night for you.
No, I'm talking about like Monday.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Like you're gonna
I
be
don't know.
drunk
You're gonna be
right
drunk
off
at
the
10
like-
a.m.?
Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be
No,
drunk
no.
right off this hop. Like the
No.
moment you wake up, you're gonna like shoot 5 shooters or something.
Maybe.
Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm just. That's where I
These are
figured.
great ideas. Slow down.
I figured that like what you're saying is I'm gonna be hungover from Sunday night.
oh no, I don't know if I'm doing it.
But like
Sunday
10
night.
o'clock in the morning, like it's not like you're in the hangout and we have the two
Yeah.
Hoots going.
I just said there's a chance.
You sound like Don Draper from Mad Men.
Well, you
Love
lived,
the hair
watch
of the
that show?
dog, you
you
know.
lived a blessed life.
Someone's not making it to a Riverhawks game, let alone even a Stingers game tomorrow if he's or on Monday if he's
Is this the
inebriated by like
weekend- is
10.
this
I
the
didn't
weekend
even know.
of Tommy?
I had no idea it was a long weekend till like a day ago.
Oh, it's not a long weekend for some of us.
Right.
Meh.
Hello,
somebody's
hockey
gotta
tomorrow
work.
at 10 a.m.
Great show, I hear.
Great show. Thank you. One host is good. The other one, whatever.
Birdie booze.
I have some of that. Yeah,
Well,
I haven't
that's-
tried that yet. Actually.
it's
Do you want to try
delicious.
it?
You want some?
Yeah. Not
Do you
at
want to try
10
it right
a.m.
now?
No.
Don't tempt us.
What's wrong with 10 a.m.? It's noon in Toronto.
Yeah,
And everything matters what's happening.
It's 5 o'clock in London.
touche.
It's true. That's so. I will
Wow,
drink to that.
That was a quick
Yeah.
time conversion.
Yeah.
Well done.
7 hours.
Yes. Gagers watching the sprint race right now.
I have no idea.
That must be.
Honestly, don't even know
awesome.
what's going on with F1 this weekend.
There's music playing.
Quite
over
frankly, it's I'm so much into the soccer that F1 has taken a full back seat these last couple
Because
of
Euros
weeks.
going and
Euros tomorrow. The knockout stage gets going. Italy taking on Switzerland at 10 o'clock. That's what kicks it all off. And then there's Copa America, and Canada's got a
Right.
big match tomorrow. I will quickly then now preview this. Canada, Chile. If Canada wins, they move on to the knockout stage. If they draw, and as long as Argentina draws with Peru or beats Peru, Canada's off to the knockout stage. Chile is the favorite through Coolbet, which is interesting to me. Chile, I don't like their offensive attack. I don't think they have a lot of abilities to score, but they are really good defensively. They almost drew Argentina. They give up a 88th minute goal, I think it was, on Tuesday night. But Canada, they've got the players, and it's there for them to potentially go and move on to the knockout stage, which the U.S. might not. The U.S. blew it yesterday. They lost to Panama, was it? And they now have to take on Uruguay, the toughest team of their group. So they might not even come out of the group stage. The U.S. is going to be in mess and a shambles after that. Whereas Canada might get out. And if they get out, likely they're taking on Venezuela. And quite frankly, especially if Canada can get through Peru and Chile, I like their chances of beating Venezuela, which means it could lead to a semifinal appearance by Canada where they're taking on Argentina again. So it's tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Canada and Chile. And we'll see what happens from that. So it's very exciting. And ultimately, here's the fun part. I think I mentioned it yesterday on the show. Euros do it different than Copa America. If Canada, the reason Canada might get knocked out with the draw in the Euros, so Canada and Peru might both have 4 points. In the Euros, they go head-to-head as the first tiebreaker.
Okay.
In Copa America, their first tiebreaker is goal differential. So Canada will have beaten Peru, but Peru will have a better goal differential. So they get to go on and not Canada.
Wow.
It's great, isn't that?
Yeah.
That's South America's soccer for you.
Well, my immediate response was, oh, okay, maybe that's why people hate soccer.
That's why?
Because it doesn't make sense.
I have no comment. I've watched more soccer
Number one
in the last
sport in the
2 weeks.
world.
Oh.
Most fans in the
know.
world.
I'm
So
not from
most
those-
supporters in the world.
Cheapest
So-
sport to play. You can play it
But it doesn't mean you have to watch it. But everyone watches it.
with a tumbleweed. And bare
Actually,
feet.
Canada, Argentina had 1.1 million people watch it on last Thursday.
Did I see a clip? I don't know if it's a current or an old one that was just resurfaced, but where the referee pats a guy on the back and the guy flops
That was Brazil actually recently.
because he thought it was
it was-
another
I
player and
think
he's
so.
flopping in front of the ref,
Yeah.
but it was the ref that patted him on the back.
The Brazilians are pretty rough with that. I'm not going to lie.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it's the Brazilians are known for the really embellishments. Neymar was the worst for it.
Yeah.
He was a soccer player who's Brazilian.
And
Gotcha.
he's the guy that bites everybody?
No, that's Suarez. I do not like Suarez. He'd been an Italian, and it caused Italy to be knocked out of the 2014 World Cup, which was the last appearance Italy's actually had at a World Cup.
Neymar in Saudi Arabia now?
Yeah, but hurt this year. Look at this guy with his full soccer. He doesn't just know prospects. Here's a soccer guy over
yeah.
here.
Well, Italy has a big game tomorrow, right?
Italy and Switzerland. I did say that in the whole preamble, so thanks for listening.
Yeah. Well, I just I know soccer. So. I mean, in our house we call it football, but whatever.
Football. That's wonderful. But again, Canada, Chile tomorrow. It's big. I'm gonna watch it with Hernan. He's Chilean. He said at the start of the tournament.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, he said at the start of the tournament. I said, "Who would you want to win?" And he says, "Whoever." Or who are you cheering for? And he says, "Whoever wins." So I'll be intrigued how he goes into this because if Chile wins, they move on.
He'll be cheering
So-
for a fresh, cold beer. That's my boy. That's my
Probably
Latino
use
heat.
one right about now.
Yeah, he does.
Can we get into that a little
Things
bit
are
here?
getting a little hot
Yeah, he does.
over at Commonwealth.
Can we get a little into the Elks?
Let's get into it.
If that's okay.
Let's get into it.
0-4. Bad penalties, untimely mistakes,
Discipline.
just they keep getting in their own way. 0-4, bye week.
Best 0-4 club probably in the last 10 years of CFL play.
The teams they've lost to, Toronto, Montreal,
Sask and BC. It's
they
10-1 or
literally have
11-1.
one
Combined
loss
loss.
between the 4 of them.
Yeah.
So pretty tough schedule to start. Is
Yeah,
that what
I'd
you're saying?
say.
Tough schedule.
That's a
And the
murderous
last 3
row.
games, they only lost by a combined 9 points.
On the last play of
Wow,
the game, the
that's
last
tough.
2 weeks
3
in
points
a row,
in the
right?
last 3.
Yeah.
But you gotta win. Like that's the part of all this is
It was
you gotta
there.
start winning, and it's been there for 3 weeks. But
That pick.
why can't you?
Oh.
Like, what's it gonna take to start winning these football games? Do they have it in them to win these football games?
I think
or
they
are they
do.
just good enough to lose?
The way that this has gone is obviously very frustrating for the fan base, and I saw the vitriol on the post-game show as I was watching last night. I think there is a decent team there still, and the way they hang in there, there's times where the offense looks great. The defense still gets sliced and diced, though, unfortunately. But they came up with a huge play to stop that monster drive that BC had late in the game. What was it, 9 plays? They marched like 92 yards, and then was it Purifoy knocked the ball out?
Hell of a play.
Smart Wiley
Yeah.
played a
Kai Gray knocked it out.
Yeah.
Purefoy hits it out of bounds.
yeah, exactly. Like that's a good heads up veteran move. Make
On
it
a 3rd and short
exactly.
when they brought Vernon Adams out of the game and brought their fullback in to carry
And
the
it was a
mail.
great run. And ultimately, but if that ball doesn't come out, they're scoring a touchdown on that drive.
And they go
Yeah.
all the way down, and
But then, just like last week, they go score a touchdown offensively. And what does the defense do in the very next possession?
Nothing.
Allow them to march down the field and get a touchdown.
exactly.
It's that momentum. It's like in hockey, like you score that big goal. The worst thing you could do is on the puck, next face-off, allow the team to come the other way and score.
Of course,
Like,
exactly.
right?
And
It
the
just
Oilers
kills all that
did
momentum. Well, the
this
Oilers
year.
almost did that. Thank God for that offside in whatever game that was. I think it was at 6.
Yeah.
Where like it was 2-0. They're feeling good.
Yeah.
What could have happened if the Panthers had actually scored that goal and not
Could have
been
been
offside?
troubles.
It could have been
Yeah.
maybe the game series ends in 6 or something. Like,
Now, bringing it, very true, but bringing it back to the Elks and the response, and you being a DB in U Sport, CIS, whatever the hell it was called
was it
at
with
the
you?
time.
CIS.
CIAU.
It was CIS?
Yeah. Anyway, is that just like it feels like they got to Vernon Adams, except he is slippery and he could use his athleticism to make plays or
He's the
throw it
best
away.
quarterback in the CFL.
He was excellent.
Yeah.
But is this on that young secondary? Are they just immature or not wily enough? I know Niles Morgan has been talking about the two rookies on his sides. He's trying to prep them and groom them and bring them along. Is that where they're getting killed, or is there something more to it than that?
I thought actually last night they played pretty dang well. They tried to, there was a couple balls that, we were talking about it that should have been caught for deep completions, but they weren't. For the most part, they were able to keep the ball in front of them. And they were making Vernon Adams a little unsettled in getting to him and disrupting his timing was off. He just wasn't right. Now, you can say that's because he was maybe battling a bit of an injury, that he was, rushed back in to come into this game, or you can credit the defense and say that front five, front six was actually disrupting and getting to him. I think it was a bit of a combination of both.
Yeah.
But that secondary is we're starting to see patterns now that we're through 4 games.
Yeah.
And that is a pattern. That is a concern, especially on the corner.
Yes.
With Lewis and Kai Gray. So what and it once again it just comes down to simple: do your job. Do your job. If you're in cover 3, you're the deepest, and you're in the deep third there, well, get deep. Don't try and be the guy that makes the play. They almost got beat twice on that last night. Thankfully, they didn't, or this could have been a different score. But Kai Gray also took that penalty on the on the 2-point conversion.
Was that the P? Oh, right.
Where it went, where it was legal contact, and that was a incomplete ball.
Yeah.
At that point, that's a 1-point game. If that's the case, that who knows where that that game ends up. But truthfully, aside from what we've talked about, wasn't MBT's greatest game, wasn't his worst, but he just needs to be more consistent with taking care of the ball. I mean, he missed Gavin Cobb on a wide open touchdown.
There were a couple of overthrows there. I think Dylan Mitchell, he had
Dylan
one
Mitchell,
wide
he
open.
They underthrew Dylan a few times. There was one where he probably, if he hits him in stride, he's gone for a touchdown.
If he hits him in stride, nobody's touching him. He caught that on the 45-yard line. He's gone for a touchdown. He's got that kind of speed. Misses Gavin Cobb on a wide open touchdown. Next play throws which was a hell of an interception by the BC Lions defender. I don't know exactly his name, but hell of a pick.
Yeah.
But he still threw it after he had missed a sure touchdown.
Right.
So that's kind of getting hard to watch. But that being said, I talked with a good friend of mine. He's actually a very good, very, very astute football mind, Donnie O. And he's kind of the same belief as me that they just got to get one.
Yeah.
But how long can you go until you let
do
them
they play
get the
next?
one?
Like
It's Ottawa.
Ottawa.
They got a bye week, then
At home,
Ottawa.
Yeah.
So how's Ottawa doing this year?
They're 1-1, I think it is, and we'll see what happens this week.
They've only played 2 games.
Yeah, they had,
I guess
they had
they
one
got-
of the bye weeks. So then they'll play this weekend.
They're playing, I think,
Hamilton.
Yeah.
They get them, I think, on Sunday.
Sunday.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, but if you can't beat Ottawa, then it's
Right.
What do you do?
That's-
That's why, like, I said it after the Toronto game. That's the game I'm circling for the future of Chris Jones's job. It's that game. If you lose that one, what are we doing here now?
If they smack around Ottawa, I think that might restore a little faith, and people might look at these first 4 weeks and go, "Oh, okay, you know what? those 4 teams that they played are some of the best in the league right now.
Well, and they could
only
be
lost-
2-2.
They could be 2-2, and they lost those games at the last second. The thing with Chris Jones, I know the heat is cranked up because they are 0-4, and you talked about it going into the season, and I don't disagree with it at all. Is just the getting the owner to sign. They don't have an owner yet, and I don't think they're going to be spending extra money to get rid of a coach to bring in one while they don't have that sorted out.
Well, but to me, it's simple. There were rumblings yesterday that it sounds like it's close with the group.
It should be close. It's been forever.
But you want to make sure they've had enough, I think, applicants more than they were expecting, and they're trying to figure out who's the right one.
Yeah, and
but
that's
all it takes is
good.
Rick Lawless should go talk to them, be like, I'm going to fire this guy. Do you have a problem with that? And you just have all the groups. Multiple texts I want to get to. Elks 2-2 if MBT can hit open a wide open receiver. Ian, after sleeping on it, still fire Jones. Don't care who they play. Nico's dad. Hey guys, avid gambler here. I'm still trying to figure out if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I bet the Oilers this year to win the Stanley Cup when they were losing at the beginning of the year. If they would have a win, I would have cashed $31K.
Damn.
I made up for it betting McDavid to win May 29th at 8.25 Conn Smythe and also cashed in the Oilers to win the Western Conference. Being 0-4, the Elks could also be 4-0 against the top teams in the CFL. Here's a tip for you all. Put a few bucks on them winning the Grey Cup.
Wow.
This texter, I hear you could lose with Trey Ford too. And then the nasty chat. In the nasty chat, we got Lance saying football's supposed to be fun. The CFL's supposed to be fun. The Elks are not fun. If you're going to suck,
Yes.
at least make it fun. Put Trey Ford in. Maybe he is not as good a QB, but at least he's fun to play. Whereas Justin Balgoni responds with, Trey needs to start. He'll not only bring wins to the Elks, but put butts in the seat. Atif agrees with that. And Lance adding also put Ford in. At least he could run the ball. It's fun to watch.
Great text.
I have 2 questions,
Those are
and one
so
of them
good.
was about that because very, very casual
Yep.
CFL guy, so I'm completely uninformed on this. But I seem to recall last year everybody was clamoring, why doesn't Trey Ford get a shot? And then when they put him in, did not the wins start
He
coming?
was 4-5 last year.
So why did they go out and get a different guy first off? And is there going to be an opportunity for Ford again?
Great questions, eh?
But okay, so that's part of the reason why there's a
Yeah.
frustration, because this team needs the business part of this, and
Yeah.
there's a casual fan who's not following who knows Trey Ford.
Yeah.
And this is why they needed to go with Trey Ford in my eyes, because maybe there'd be more interest.
But was he a flash in the pan who's like, okay, well he cashed in on an opportunity, but he's not a good guy long term?
Nah.
I don't know. I'm
Jay and I
asking.
come from different opinions on this. I see a quarterback that needs some more development, but there's a solid quarterback right there. And he's exciting to watch. And I love a mobile quarterback in the Canadian Football League. And I would have went with him as the starting quarterback this year. Chris Jones goes, we need a win now. We need to bring a more veteran quarterback. Trey Ford needs to develop a bit more. He's not going to start. So we're going to bring in MBT who could develop Trey Ford, but also then go win football games for us. That's the Chris Jones mentality with this. I also will just throw in there that Chris Jones, to me, does not like Trey Ford. He does not believe in Trey Ford. And any time that he talks about that, they want to still develop Trey Ford, I don't buy it because I don't believe that there's the faith. And it took him till 0-9 last year to finally go to Trey Ford. And then Trey Ford saves his job. Chris Jones would not be the head coach of this team if they didn't win football games last
Well,
year.
who brought
And
Trey Ford in?
Chris Jones.
So why do you say he doesn't like him if it was his guy?
Because he went for that year one, but then, I've heard some that they wanted to switch Trey Ford away from quarterback. Trey Ford didn't want that, and that started. Spec actually told me that one. He heard from someone else,
Okay.
and that's what led to a little bit there.
Some friction.
A friction, and then it just showed. Like, you just have to look at it. You're 0-9. The fans want Trey Ford, and it took you to 0-9 to finally put in Trey Ford.
Right.
And then again, as Chris Jones' job is saved because Trey Ford and Jarius Jackson go and win football games, the OC, what do? Instead of, giving him the extension and making him the starting quarterback,
Right.
they go bring in a different quarterback. And through 4 games, we haven't seen Trey Ford touch the field in any meaningful ways. That's where I read those tea leaves and go, Chris Jones does not like this guy.
So if the game against Ottawa is such a pivotal one in the situation here for the team this year, if they lose that one, is it Trey Ford then after that?
How do you justify the $500,000
know.
you spent on McLeod Bethel Thompson? And I get that. Like, listen, I like McLeod Bethel Thompson. He's a pro. He's very good and easy to deal with, and he's this close to having this team picking up wins. But
if
you
you're
got this
0-5.
shiny new thing that you drafted and developed there that had success last season, was selling jerseys, butts in seats, making people talk about you. and it's just sitting there waiting for its turn.
But the problem I have with that now too is there's just added pressure now going to be put on Trey Ford.
Of course. This
That
all of
wouldn't
this
have been
created
there
a
if he
terrible
started the year as the
situation.
starting quarterback. And last year he already had that pressure and he saved the season. Now it's going to be saved the season again. And Jay completely disagrees with a lot of this that's going on here. And he's just waiting to, I think, jump
No,
in.
I
But
mean-
in the end, it's like if you go 0-5, partly too with that is you're past, what, 25% of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're 0-5 after going 0-9 to start last year. It's not
better
good
go on
enough.
a hell of a
This
heater.
guy-
Chris Jones is the reason that McLeod Bethel Thompson's here.
Okay.
Chris Jones went out and paid a premium for McLeod Bethel Thompson. He is going to ride that horse as far and as long as he can. In my opinion, I don't think Trey Ford was a sustainable answer for this year. Maddie disagrees with me that, and although I agree that he needs development, Maddie disagrees that he's getting development sitting behind McLeod Bethel Thompson. Whereas I totally disagree with that. Practicing there, practicing behind, because here's the problem with Trey Ford
He's running the two
that I
team,
have.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the problem I've always had with Trey Ford is he is not a pocket passer. Traditionally in the CFL, pocket passers are what wins you football games, wins you Grey Cups. Yes, there have been some outliers in the Doug Flutys and whatnot.
Damon Allen's.
But traditionally, you have a pocket passer that's going to sit back there and gunsling. Trey Ford would not, at least from what I saw last year, allow plays to develop. He would jump and bounce out of the pocket. That's why you saw these runs that were, exciting and, he can run. But he's not allowing the passing game to develop. It led to a better run game. We can all agree on that. Mm-hmm. The stats would show that. But I think having him on the bench, learning behind McLeod Bethel Thompson is a win-win. And you put a lot of money and resources into getting MBT, you're going to ride him till. And I honestly, like, next game, if that game is lost, changes will happen. There will be a change, and I don't know if it's necessarily MBT, because you can't honestly look at these games and say that
He's been the problem.
that this is all on MBT. I would point more fingers. He's made mistakes, and you're going to make You're going to make mistakes. Unfortunately for Edmonton, these mistakes have come at critical times. I said it numerous times now. Critical mistakes at critical times in every game.
Every game.
Which are hindering them from getting it over the finish line and putting a W in the or putting a 1 in the win column. This is a big game. I mean, but honestly, I do feel that if they get that one, and the schedule coming up in the but leading up to Labor Day
is 500
is favorable
in the next 4 games. There's a path to 500 based on what we've seen from this football team.
Is the Ottawa game at home, and
Yes.
does that matter? Like with the record that Edmonton's had over the last
I think it
3
massively
years,
matters because one,
they
I think
have home field advantage anymore?
Well, no, not for that.
just
Not for that.
okay,
No, there is
Juju.
no home field advantage.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's
nobody there.
The issue is that's going to be a sparse crowd. I would assume, because we've seen through 2 games. Now there's a lot of other factors. Weather was not good.
Weather
the
was
Oilers were
terrible.
playing game 1 of the Stanley Cup final for
Right.
one of those. They were just in the Cup final in general for the other one. The crowds weren't there. No. Now it's an 0-4 football team. Why are you excited to go to Commonwealth Stadium on July 14th to go watch this? But also Chris Jones's record at home over the last 3 seasons is 2 wins. It's like 2-18. You lose another home game, and you drop to 0-5. Like, it's all those little things that you add up to one thing that the fan base just walks away and goes, so 2 weeks Hamilton's in town. I'm going to the lake, or I'm going to something else, or we'll see you whenever, maybe, like if we come back
Labor
type
Day.
thing. There's a point where it's just, I think that's why the extra pressure is there, because it's now, you might have, if you lose that one, your home crowd is also walking away yet again with another L and going, why am I spending money? Why am I coming to these things?
Right.
Even though it could be a great time. And if you go to the tailgate and then you can find your own fun during the game just with the crowd that you're at. But, the Riverhawks, when you go, largely, they're a good, actually, baseball team this year.
Yeah, they are.
But like last year, they were a 500 team. No one cared what wins or loss.
It's a great time.
People want to have a good time.
Right.
The Elks people care. People care about the record. And if they're losing, people then don't want to show up. So that's where I think the home game actually matters. It's the added pressure to Chris Jones, who also said this is a win now season. And
Very
that's where,
true. Yeah,
that's where all this that comes from. Is the reason they went to MBT is because they need a win now. But if you're 0-5, where's these wins? That's the
Yeah.
issue.
Well, and Lance Kane in the Nasty Chat says the fans want Ford. Make it happen. Who cares at this point? I'm tired of hearing about MBT. Who cares at this point? We're a fifth of the way through the season. There's a lot of CFL. The regular season doesn't start till Labor Day. That's traditionally what they say. So there is a lot to care about. And let me tell you one thing, and I'm sorry to give it to you so bluntly. Chris Jones doesn't give a flying you-know-what about what you want as a fan.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Trust me.
Yeah.
He could care less that the fans want Trey Ford. Who cares? If
Well,
that's
might
gonna
cost
put-
him his job.
then he's going to have to die on that sword.
And he will.
Yeah,
At
and he'll
this point, it
fall
looks
on that
potentially.
like
That's-
he should.
And I have no problem with that.
Nobody should.
But he
shouldn't.
added the extra pressure on him for this.
Sure.
Because he chose to go away from Trey Ford.
Yeah.
And he went away from the guy that got casual fans excited about this franchise
Yeah.
again. That it better work. And right
Well,
now it hasn't.
And you're right, but ultimately he's the guy that's going to fall on that. So it's a big game
Yeah.
against the Red Blacks,
Red Blacks.
Caps Locks. You know they capitalize all the letters.
Oh, I know.
They
It's
stopped
very
doing that, actually. I
good,
don't think
smart.
it's ever really written that way. in,
And
like,
I'm glad they
articles.
got rid of the hashtag on the side of their pants. Too.
Oh, I
They had
remember
a
that.
Hashtag Our Nation.
Although I would love to go see a game out of Ottawa. It does look like a great time.
It does.
On their pants?
Yeah. There's been other team. There's an NFL team that had like a slogan or something like that that they incorporated into their uniform. It was
Didn't the Jets do something?
gross.
Maybe not. Let's get to our $100,000 hole-in-one qualifying opportunity. Presented by Golf Town. Trade-in days are back. Get 50% trade-in bonus when trading in your old clubs. Plus, get a free driver iron fitting to upgrade to your best gear. Bring your clubs to Golf Town. They'll appraise it. Whatever they put the value on, they'll give you an additional 50% towards new clubs. Visit golftown.com for more details or see them in store for details. This is our last qualifying opportunity on the Hangout. We're qualifying 4 times today, 1 time on Hello Hockey tomorrow. This great Hello Hockey show.
I heard it's awesome.
It's and then Sunday on the VIP Golf Show, those 6 qualifiers, there'll be a draw on Monday morning. Whoever's drawn will be our 25th contestant. The next Wednesday at the Ranch Golf and Country Club, hole 17, 180 yards away. They will have all a chance, or potentially all a chance, to swing for $100,000 if no one does hit a hole-in-one. The Ranch kindly giving $1,000 to the closest to the pin. The keyword to text to 780-218-9999, distance. Distance to 780-218-9999. You'll go into a draw to be the last qualifier from the Hangout for the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. I actually really like your keyword tomorrow.
Oh.
I do like that one.
Is it better than all the last 6?
Can I see?
I like that one. I don't know.
Ooh, that is a good one.
I do like that one. I'm a fan of that one.
Oh, yeah. It's fitting.
What's the last one that I have? I can't say there. I don't mind that one either. Key, what would you hit from 180 yards away?
What club would I
Yeah.
use? I think most golfers would probably be, what, a 9-iron or something like that?
I think we're hearing a lot
8-iron?
because this is a little far. 180.
6'5".
I think we've heard in the 6'5" range.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be more like a 5-iron. But it's been a decade since I swung a club, so it might even be a 5 wood for me.
That wouldn't hurt. Nice light little 5 wood. Get some air under that ball.
Yeah, and Tuesday's the draw. Sorry, I said Monday. Tuesday will be the draw for
yeah,
that because
nice.
we're not going to do that during Canada Day.
No. I once witnessed at a golf tournament our dear friend and colleague Robert Bartholomew Stauffer take out a 3-wood on like a 125-yard par 3, and he went full pull. That thing, he crushed it. And he's like, "Do you think I should use this on this hole?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "Well, it's the only one I trust." And he just pasted it, and he goes, "Where'd it go?" I'm like, "It's in the river. That's gone."
80 yards past the green.
I'm like, "You did not need to do that." He's like, "I don't know what I'm doing." I'm like, "Clearly."
Yeah, I've heard at the Oiler Media golf tournament that happens once a year that he golfs like half the holes, if that.
Yeah, he just
drive
talks.
around in the
He's
cart
just there to
talking.
talk.
What was up with the sensationalized slow motion video of Bob walking on
He
the
became
tarmac
the biggest
in
celeb
Fort?
of the Oilers this playoffs.
Yeah,
What the hell is that all about? Are they laughing with him or at him?
both.
With?
I don't know.
With?
People were loving it. Fans were
He
loving
loved
it.
it.
Oiler of
He
course,
loved
he
it.
retweeted that.
Yeah.
He posted that video on his own Twitter. You didn't see it?
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
It's great to see him and those old jokes that he has not changed for decades. land with people who've never heard those jokes.
This room has been great today. Your mic just coming right off.
It
I think we
literally
need to
fell
turn
off.
it around
Yeah,
and
okay.
spin it in. We'll have to deal with that after.
Oh, boy.
I just noticed that you're wearing an Edmonton Trappers T-shirt.
Yes.
That's probably the last time I was at the ballpark.
With this logo?
Was the Trappers? Well, I don't know. They had
it would have
like
been,
a
it would have been the
something.
Trappers because you we were talking before the show that I don't know what you're doing there. That's not going to help you.
This is.
I'm just gonna hold it like this.
People
For
who
the
are
rest of the
watching
show.
right
Yeah,
now are
the-
getting
the-
an
I don't know
entertainment.
I
what's
think you're
going
speaking
on.
at the wrong part of the mic, or is it the right
No,
part?
I'm talking to the right part.
Okay, just making sure.
Wow.
Does it say Audio Technica in front of you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, just making sure.
Anything else, Matthew?
I just want to make sure. There's a lot of problems happening today on the
Fix
Hangout.
it.
John,
I'm putting in a ticket to engineering
he
after
said
this.
that last time he was at was John Ducey, but maybe he was at one game after
Yeah,
John
after
Ducey.
the Renos.
So that's like 94, 95.
Oh man, that's a long time.
Yeah, so the Trappers definitely were there.
Okay.
So yeah, you
What,
missed it.
what was next after the Trappers?
So the Trappers ended in 04, then the Cracker Cats came.
Yeah, I'd never been to a
which
Cracker
was
Cat game.
yeah, it wasn't. You didn't miss anything.
No, it was not good.
Then there was the Edmonton Capitals, which was a lot of fun.
Those were all right.
Yeah,
Oilers
that's
did a
right.
great job with that.
Yeah.
Then
the
that went away. Then the
Prospects?
Prospects took over for a while. Then the city made a deal with Dr. Randy Gregg and his group, and the Prospects now they're going to be moving to Sprucebury. Now they're playing in Sherwood Park, and it's the Riverhawks there.
Okay.
So
And
great collegiate
Dr.
ball.
Randy Gregg and his crew, Steve Hogle, part of
When,
them.
sorry,
put
when
in
did
a
the
lot of money.
Riverhawks play this weekend?
They're off today. They play Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
It's perfect.
I want to go. I might go Sunday.
1
Let me
o'clock.
know. I'll walk because
Yeah?
we live right. I'll walk down. I'll
Okay.
come join you guys.
Okay, I'll let you know. Would you go?
Well, I'm going on Monday.
I might
you
be
gonna
gone.
walk down?
Yeah,
Out
I
of
could
town.
do that. Just let me know.
Visit my folks.
My wife's birthday.
All right, let's celebrate.
Yeah, I arranged for fireworks for her on her birthday. So
Nice. Gee, you are
Pulled
a
some strings.
gentleman.
Canada
Oh,
Day.
I just missed what you said there. What's going on?
He's going to
It's my wife's birthday on Monday, so we're going to watch the fireworks and.
So you put all that together.
Yeah,
Good for you. Wow, that's a big,
called the
an
city.
expensive gift.
Say,
You know what I
spares
miss
no
is the
expense.
waterfall.
So do I.
The high
We
They
talked
don't
about
do
that
that
on the high
anymore.
level. We talked about it on the Hangout once about why they don't do it anymore.
I didn't know that they did.
There's
that.
there's
Oh, it's been
pollution
a
or
long
something.
time.
Yeah.
You don't make your way downtown much, do you, Key?
No.
It's a pollution thing, I think, because the water that's coming from the city is chlorinated, and it would be going into the river and
It's bad cross mojonation.
bad cross. I believe that's exactly what the city planner
Scientific
said.
term.
Bad cross city mojonation.
Yeah, to quote Austin Powers.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was always cool.
Yeah,
You know, that was
It always
something.
looked great.
Yeah.
How about 30,000 people showing up for the soapbox races?
Awesome.
That's phenomenal.
That happened already. Sorry, I
Last
Last
weekend.
weekend.
completely missed out. I heard it was coming. I missed that.
Weather was great, good crowds.
So it stopped in 09, and it was because the city stopped because there were concerns that the chlorinated water could be affecting the river below.
Cross
In
mojonation.
2012, they considered upgrading to meet environmental standards, but the equipment needed to dechlorinate the water was deemed too expensive. The debate
value
was restored in
engineering.
2014, but it was shut down for good. Don't shut it down for good.
You know,
Maybe
I got
one day somebody will have the
We
money we can do
valued
that.
engineered
I got
the
a-
crap out of everything in this.
I got a
city.
hot take.
Lay it on
Why
us,
don't
brother.
they just pump water out of the
Exactly.
river that's right below it?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh my
Could you
God.
not?
You'd have to be smart to do that. Jeez, I don't know. Sometimes I surprise myself too, Matt.
Round of clicks. I can only do one because I have to hold the damn mic.
But I'm assuming there's a reason that can't happen.
Wow, I don't
I'm
know.
get a
assuming
pump,
there's
you
a
hook
reason
it
that
up.
that's not why they're doing it.
Is
They're-
it too
they're-
high to pump the water? I don't know.
It's higher than Niagara Falls.
I'm sure
I've
you
been
could
to
get
Niagara Falls multiple
Yukon
times.
Jack's jet boat down there, and he could put the.
I
turn
felt
the-
he invited me. I think it was last weekend, and I couldn't go.
Ooh, I wonder if that now puts you down a notch on
Actually,
invites.
I usually get. Well, I've turned him down a lot. I usually get the first invite of the year, and this year he didn't invite me to his first boat ride of the year. So
I think
Maybe he's
there's-
sending you a message.
I think he's sending you a message. This is personal now.
I got invited. I'm kidding. I didn't.
I'll get on his boat at some point this summer. It's lovely on his boat.
You know, that's another thing we were talking about. I think it actually dovetailed from the river talk with the high level bridge was how they could do so much more with that area just beyond
Yes.
the ball diamond there.
Yes.
Turn it into a river walk, you know,
Promenade.
do some restaurants and
farmers
shops,
market.
and pop up things.
Yeah.
Maybe
And-
have a launch there, a boat launch or something. You know,
There's those plots of land, not where the parking lot is for the ballpark, but just around it. And there's a couple of houses still sitting on there, and I'm sure those people want to maximize the return on that land. Plus, it's their homes, but like that needs to be developed. That needs to be a little hub and a little community as well.
Because there's that EPCOR building there, right? Like right behind it.
A huge
water treatment plant or
reservoir.
something.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see.
There's a lot of
It'd be
nice to
lovely.
see. I also need money for that.
What you need more though in downtown Edmonton is construction.
What do you mean?
My gosh,
It's your
you're
construction
right. I
season's
don't
always
go
fun.
downtown much,
it
but
changes-
anytime I do,
There's construction.
Oh my.
There's
It's
something.
awful.
Gee, literally every day the route changes to get here. I'm like, what? This wasn't like this yesterday. Have you noticed that? It's like,
No, I've been good.
New lines have been painted. What is going on
I feel
here?
like on 104 it keeps shifting which lanes we're in.
And 109th, and 102nd, and 103rd Ave. Like, I just like, what the hell's going on? Like, 103rd Street was closed for the longest time. Now it's open. I'm like, I don't know how to get home today.
I still love that you're holding this.
This is all I can do.
Yeah, other than going for oil.
Well, I
Kings,
can join you in
I
solidarity
avoid
in this
downtown.
Nah, it's good. I'm alone by myself here.
These are
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of EST promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out at highproductmarketing.com if you're looking for any sort of promotional products. They've done some amazing work with us throughout the almost year that we've been on EST, and some great things coming up in the next little while, including at the EST Golf Classic, which I think I have 4 spots open. I think that's it with the EST
Nice.
Golf Classic. If you're interested in playing on July 9th, $200 a person, whether you're an individual or twosome, we'll put a bunch of individuals together. I think I have 4 spots open. That's it. Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Get in touch with me. We're only a week and a half away. It should be a really good time. I hope. I pray. Fingers crossed.
The Hive, did they do the little giveaways that we're doing at the tailgate? The shipment
Yes.
that came in yesterday, those are
Yeah.
going to be. I think that's a nice touch. You made a good
But
call
we got
on that.
sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
With
The
the
EST
Sports Talk
sunglasses.
logo on
sweet.
those.
Yeah, those look cool.
I always love those cheap sunglasses. Well,
now you have 2 cases full
Well,
of
that's
them.
like I always love grabbing them because then you just wear them, and if you ever lose them, who cares? You just grab another one. Those promotional items, those are some of my favorites. So going into the summer, I was like to Chelsea, I want sunglasses. So
And Chelsea
I
delivered.
went into I took my daughters shopping to get year-end gifts for their teachers last Sunday. I went into a place where they sell glasses, and I had just recently lost a pair of really good gas station sunglasses.
Oh.
They were gas station, but man, they were good.
Good.
They were fit my fit. You know when they're just right.
Sure.
So I was ticked off. I lost them. So I'm like, you know what? And such a silly idea or thought. I was like, why don't I go and see if I should, what kind of sunglasses are there for, maybe buy a pair with a case that you can actually take care of and yada, yada, yada. So I went into this place. $250.
it's worth it.
It is not
worth
worth it. I got that pair of. I had never went back to a gas station as fast as I did
Do you
in my
have
life.
Do you wear glasses? Do you need?
I do not need a
Okay, so that's it.
prescription.
I have prescription sunglasses.
Okay.
It is so worth the money. At
I love
that
the
point.
Polaroid lens, or the polarized lenses make a difference too.
I hate those. Are those the ones that go dark outside and then they
No, that's
Transitional.
transitional.
Those
The
I just
polarized,
cannot stand.
like, how would I describe it? They make things clearer,
Yeah.
even though you're wearing
Like
shaded
the blue
lens.
blockers and stuff like that we used
Yeah.
to see on infomercials 20 years ago at midnight.
Blue blockers were that was something else. There was also that one infomercial back in the day that was like the army flashlight.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the guy would flash and
Yeah.
it would flash like across
Basically,
a mile.
you could go through the wall. That's how bright it is.
Yeah. That was a good infomercial.
But no, if you need glasses, I do recommend the prescription sunglasses. It's
Yeah.
worth that money, easily.
This text comes in.
yeah,
says,
if you
You don't need
yeah.
the prescription. So I see where you're like, yeah, you don't need to go spend that money.
Right.
But like when
And
I
the
go,
fella there
for me, like
did say
going
that.
golfing, like it's great that I could just wear sunglasses and I could watch.
Can still
where my,
see the ball.
I could watch where my ball's going as opposed to like the sun. Like it's perfect.
Can I read this text
If
now?
you can find a way to read it.
Thank you. Before I strike you with this microphone.
What are you coming to that to me for? I'm just saying, like you've got a lot going on. You got a
HR
coffee cup.
Daddy's
You've
not
got
watching.
that.
Getting free sunglasses or sweatbands or anything at Elks games is my wife's favorite part of the games. Well, now you can add
we also
EST
have some
sunglasses.
bottled waters.
Yes,
those
which
things,
you beg all of us to stick around to unload today.
begging all of you to stick around.
You
I'm just
beg
saying,
Zach to come.
They're coming. They're supposed to be dropped off today between 11 and 3. And if people are here, it would be really nice to get help to bring 50 flats of water
So
up here and not have to do it by
passive-aggressive.
myself.
Well, I hope they get here at 11.
Yeah, well, I hope.
Because I'll stay and help. I'll go tarps off. Done it before on this station. Just think of all
Him and
us.
Eric took their tarps off.
Just think of all
the
us
morning
hunky
show for like
men.
40 minutes a couple of weeks
There
ago.
should be a
Alright.
live stream of that of us going down there and topless, carrying up flats of water.
All right.
Make everybody lose their minds.
Like Bob Stoffer's slow motion.
Yeah.
Off the airplane.
It would be just
you
like
guys,
that.
no shirts, carrying water.
Yeah, it would be just like that.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Or it should
Isn't
be.
it?
What do we got? 21 today, 15 right now, 24 tomorrow. Except some wind tomorrow. Jeez, can the wind
What's
just
it
get
Get
gonna
the
be on
wind
Monday?
out of here.
What's Monday night at the ball game?
Well, actually, because I never trust these things. Let me look at the site Josh Clausen gave me, so I could be try to be a little more accurate for game time. What do I want? 10-day forecast. We'll take a look at this 10-day
You can't
forecast.
trust the 10-day. We have
This
a
is
3-day
from
window
the
here.
model.
Okay.
What do we've got for Monday? Game time is
7:05.
so right now. This is saying for 6 o'clock it'll be 22 degrees.
Nice.
Small, like little bit of rain, just smidge of rain, not much.
Get out of here with
like
that noise.
0.3 millimeters.
Uh-huh.
Is it or so? So that's what you're looking at. So maybe a smidge of rain, but 22 degrees. Wind about 25. Is there cloud cover on this? I don't see cloud cover on this. It's the Josh Clausen. Like it's a very in-depth website.
Jeez, look at that.
Yeah, I know.
You should share that website with me.
SpotWX.com. There you go. What are we? It's 10:50, which means we're not far away. We're getting closer. We're almost done the show. Don't bother trying to
You
fix
talking
it.
to me?
Today was a day you had to watch the Hangout, I think, more so than listen to the Hangouts. Although listening to the Hangout, you got us all robotically and
my
very
goodness,
weird.
yeah.
You got two different socks on.
I do.
I noticed the pink ones earlier.
Yeah, I do.
Is that are they designed like that?
No.
Did you do this on
Yeah,
purpose?
it's laundry day.
Okay, fair enough. I just noticed.
That happens. I mean, that is a thing.
Anything else on the draft? that
Don't
we
you
haven't
ever
hit on?
lose one sock in the dryer? Like you
Yes,
put,
yes,
but I won't-
magically goes
okay,
away.
but most of my socks are like there's something to them, like Fruit Loop socks, or I have Simpson
Oh, I
socks
see.
or something. So if I lose one, I'm not wearing the other. I wait until I find the other one.
Well, they're identical socks, just two different colors, but
Nice.
they look the same. And one's my pink breast cancer awareness socks, but I lost
I think
one.
it works.
So I go with
Hey, look, you could have mismatching socks. I think that's just people have the weird, wacky socks. There's just weird, wacky
There you
socks.
go.
I do want EST socks. Anything with the draft before? Okay, what?
Great text. Go ahead.
Oh,
that-
that's just,
is
is
that
there
Big
anything with the
Maple?
draft
Yeah,
that
do you
we
wanna
haven't
read
hit
that
on?
No,
that's-
you go ahead.
You that people should be paying attention to today. When
there's
we're
an Oil King that'll go probably in the second round. I
How
would
many
think.
Oil
Adam
Kings?
Yako?
or potential.
Well, one for sure will go in Adam Yako, 6'5" centerman. But then there's, as I mentioned, Gavin Hodnett, a couple of defensemen, and Parker Alkos, Reese Peterson. But if they get drafted, probably more in the 5th to 6th to 7th round area for those guys. But the potential is there.
And so the second round player, sorry for the name,
Adam Yako looks like Jacko.
and what
But
kind of
it's
player?
Yako. Big, 6'5", decent skater, pretty good hands. He's a bit of a project still, but he's played at 3 U18 tournaments in a row for the Czech Republic, or Czechia, I guess, and was their best player at the most recent World U18. He's a good kid, big fella, big tennis player. He was considering going professional tennis
Wow.
at one point.
There's still time before the draft. It gets going, what, 5:36
Tonight,
or
yeah.
something like that. Thepipelineshow.com. You've got your draft episode out, so lots of
Yeah,
time
the
to
last
still
2 episodes were with scouts. So if you like that stuff,
get on there, listen to that before the draft if you want a little more insight and into today's draft. Thepipelineshow.com. It is season 19, which getting closer to season 20.
Yeah.
Getting closer.
And if it's on tomorrow at noon, correct? Double check.
It will be, but the draft will have.
I thought you were playing it earlier.
It's going to be
week.
played tonight.
Yeah,
We're going to play
okay.
it today.
Yeah, no, I just wanna-
It's going to be on before
we're
the
leading into
so we're actually going to play it leading into the draft today on the audio
Perfect.
stream.
Okay.
So it is going to play today. We've moved it up, but it's on our schedule. It would still be there tomorrow at noon. But
And Monday at 8.
Monday at 8.
You got the baseball games now.
Oh yeah, Monday's going to be different because we don't have a lot. Actually, there's not a lot of games on Mondays.
Oh,
So it's actually works so perfect because it is the draft special. So for Monday. But generally on our station, you can get it Mondays at 8 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, or the initial airing is Saturdays at noon. So that one will still be there tomorrow, but we will play it on the audio stream earlier today. And also just go check it out now if you want. PipelineShow.com, Spotify, Apple, all the great places that you get your podcast if you want just a little more up-to-date info on what's going to be happening at the
Just
draft.
one more name before you get to that story. But in the nasty chat, hoping the Oilers take Evan Gardner in the second round.
Goaltender with the
great young
Saskatoon Blades.
goaltender. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
He's good. He was a rookie this year and had terrific numbers. The caveat is he was on the best team in the league. So there's always that. Is it him or is it the team in front of him? But from what I saw, he's a good goaltender.
Okay.
6'2", I believe, something like that. Maybe 6'3". Might not be done growing. So, but yeah, he'd be a goalie to watch for.
All right.
What's the text you want to get to?
Big Maple for the sunglasses snobs out there. When I was in my early 20s, I won my biggest poker tournament to date the week I was leaving for Hawaii. When I got to Hawaii, the resort had a Cartier store in the bottom level, and I justified buying an $1,100 USD pair of Cartier sunglasses. That was the sale price with some of my winnings. I lost them that evening in the ocean.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Those are nice. Cartier is super high.
I don't think I could ever.
I couldn't
don't
even
think
if I was a
I
millionaire.
would have to be like Daryl Cates
Yeah.
to buy $1,100 pairs of sunglasses.
I hit the
think.
Ray-Ban sale because there's always like a sale for 50%.
How do you
off.
justify spending that much
Well,
money
he had a
on
big,
glasses? though?
win at the poker tournament.
Yeah, but like, what are these sunglasses? Do they make your eyes better?
No,
Like, do
they're
I
just
suddenly
fancy.
become the bionic man and have
X-ray vision
yeah
and
something?
They are really nice though. I
Laser
have to
beams?
admit.
Do they shoot laser beams?
Yeah, maybe.
something just slid out of that pole.
I'm not worried about it anymore.
Hey, where does one buy Ray-Bans?
I just went to the
Sunglasses
website.
store.
Or
Sunglasses,
sunglasses.
it's
Go
my
see Norman.
eye
Go
doctor's
see
money.
Brody at West Edmonton Mall. Norman the Combine's son. He'll hook you up.
Sunglass Hut?
Yeah.
There's that. There's a just. Have you gone into a sunglasses store? There's a lot of them that have.
I've
different
been to
something.
one in my life, and it was last
7-Eleven?
Go.
7-Eleven. Thank you.
There's a lot of
They
places.
say Roy Bun.
You don't.
but,
Yeah. You don't
know,
want Ray Bans or Roy Buns.
Whatever. I
Yeah.
like Roy Buns. I like Roy's buns.
Okie dokie.
Wow.
Too much information.
Whoa.
Jeez, Jay, slow down.
At least you're correcting yourself. Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop Huss, live from Vegas with, I think, Jake Bull and Moss. At noon, it's myself and Tom Gazzola. We got the oil stream. As we've mentioned, we will have an airing of the Pipeline Show from this week leading up to the draft tonight. And then tomorrow, Hello Hockey at 10 o'clock. Besides David Pagnotta, I know you're putting that down. Do you know what else is on the show?
Potentially Shea Weber. And then, Guy, do you want to come on for a bit?
Yeah, if you'd like me to.
Guy Flaming.
It's Sunday. We got the VIP golf show. We've got some Stingers, Riverhawks action throughout the weekend as well. Check out our website for the days and the times for those, as well as on Sunday. I'll be on at 10 o'clock with Zach to come, and we'll have a few other people. Just for a bit, we'll keep you up to date on what's happening on free agency for a little bit on Canada Day. Guy, thanks for coming in. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate this. Everyone, thank you for tuning into this hangout that had a lot of weirdness that has happened to it. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a happy Canada Day long weekend. On behalf of Tom, Guy, Jay, I'm Matt. Enjoy again your Canada Day long weekend. Thanks for watching. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes right here at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio as well as on YouTube. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk.
Let's go. There you go. Right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today,